We're all set then for something a little bit different. Welcome to the Thermal Club. For the first time, we are going racing in over 15 years in a non-championship event. Cars are heading out onto the track, and we are all set then. This is going to be something brand new, so sit yourself down and get ready for it. So right now, we haven't even got any track audio from trackside anyway, but we can see the TV pictures. We're all set then for the Thermal Club, and it's going to be a new experience because we've got 2 heat races, 10 laps each, with half the field in both, and then a final 20 laps as well, all to go for $1 million. Alongside me in the commentary box is Adam Limridge and Josh T, and down in the pit lane for us as well will be Jackson Lambros, and Omi's watching in the background. And Adam, it's good to be back here at the Thermal Club, and we're going to see something quite interesting coming up.
Yes, sir, we sure is. And hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, wherever you may be listening and watching from around the world. We are in for a double header of motorsports action here today, as INDYCAR is in Southern California and then NASCAR is at the incredible Look at the Americas. And this non-championship event is not new for INDYCAR. They used to do this back in the day, and so it's going to be quite interesting. 2 heat races to determine the finale, and it's a beautiful day in Southern California. It's going to be quite interesting. INDYCAR is here today, so Josh, let's take a look at some of the danger zones here. Turn 8 was a big one throughout testing, and when you heard about this, what was your initial reaction?
Finally, we get a race here. It was mine. Because I thought testing a couple of years ago was fantastic. Let's explain to you how this works then, this format here at the Thermal Club. 2 Entity INDYCAR Series heat races will decide the 12-car field for the $1 million challenge. Laps under full course yellow will not count. Pit stops for emergency service will only be allowed. Heat races are 10 laps or 20 minutes, as we said. 40 seconds of push to pass. The top 6 of each of these will advance to the final. The final is the field of 12 cars line up according to their finishing positions in each heat races as well. The order from Heat 1 occupy the odd number. The order from Race 2 occupy the even number. And the first driver to complete 20 laps will be named the Thermal Club $1 million Challenge champion. But after 10 laps of the final, we will red flag, come in, refuel, change tyres, and then we will go again and get going out there on the circuit. Josh T's with us. You've been covering most of the practice sessions and the qualifying with Jackson trackside. What are you expecting as we come into the action here today?
It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Hello, everyone, as we look out onto the Thermal Club from one of the many incredible houses which wrap around this Thermal Club circuit as well. But it's definitely going to, as you said, Josh, it's good to have a race finally here. Not 1 race, not 2 races, but 3 races if you count the heat races. As well as we're going side by side, and I think we may be coming to the green.
Qualifying yesterday decided the running orders for these 2 races. This is how they line up at the moment. It's Felix Rosenquist from Scott McLaughlin, Venus VK, Christian Lundgaard, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, Romain Grosjean, Agustin Canapino, Scott Dixon, Santino Ferrucci, Colton Herter, and then it's Nolan Seagal alongside Kyle Kirkwood and Stingray Robb. That is the 14 in this session. Heat race 1 and 2 will have 14 in each. Heat race, the final race, of course, is going to be different. And we're getting ready to come to the green flag. It will be 10 laps in duration. The pace car will come in, and we will get set to go running. It will be a venture into the unknown as we get ready for the start. Let's just quickly check in with Omi. Are you looking forward to this? It's a non-championship event, Omi, and it's something new for you to experience as well alongside us. We've never had this before.
It is going to be very exciting. I think we're going to have plenty of action. All motorsport series so far this weekend has delivered, even, surprisingly, F1. So let's see how this one goes.
Safety car will come in and they'll line up 2 by 2. It's a 10-lap sprint, remember, and then it's 2 heat races. This decides the running order. Prizes, it's $1 million for the winner, $700,000 for second, $500 for third, $200 for fourth, $100 for fifth, $23,000 the rest of it. They're coming out the last corner. We will await the green flag. They're 2 by 2. Let's try something new at the Thermal Club then, to test whether this is a race-worthy venue on the calendar, and maybe we will also have this. The $1 million race begins right here, right now. Green flag is out, and we are racing in the Thermal Club at the last corner. Cross the line. We are green for Heat Race 1 at the Thermal Club. Good start from Rosenquist. He'll get the jump. McLaughlin's going to be under pressure. Contact immediately into turn 1. And there's going to be a kamikaze effect. 3 cars out already. And this will be a red flag to the race.
Teammates.
And it's the teammates. So it's Stingray Rob, Nolan Seagal, Kyle Kirkwood down the order as well. Contact already, JT. Unbelievable.
Yep, and I believe that
VK
was
off.
contact between the John Cross Honinger cars of Grosjean and Canapino.
And there's the yellow, so this lap won't count. Laps under yellow don't count, remember. So we go yellow, full course caution as this moves further back. So Adam, it's happened again. And remember, as we said, these laps don't count. They have to count for green flags. But out of the race already, the 77 of Romain Grosjean at Junkers Honda Racing. Agustin Canapino in trouble, but also in trouble down there was the 21. And that is going to be Renus VK. And he's out of the race too. They're trying to restart him, but he's going to puncture rear left. Dramatic start, Adam. What do you make of that one?
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth, Josh. What a dramatic start here at the Thermal Club in Southern California as we take a look at a
Is it
replay
Herta?
of the start. Yeah, that is Colton Herta. And then it looks like he got... It
Dixon.
looks like, yeah, and, you know... Wow.
Contact to one. So Dixon runs into the side
yeah.
of Herta. Herta runs into everybody else, JT, and then Grosjean gets involved too. This is on board with Herta. So it's just chaos at the start.
Yep, goes to the outside. Is there contact? A little bit of contact for Colton to Dixon. And correction, it was Grosjean being
Spun by Dixon.
into VK, not his teammate Canapino, as I thought it was earlier on, as we have another look at the angle of the race. Absolutely chaos.
We didn't even make it one corner here at the Thermal Club before we get a full course yellow. And as I said, it doesn't count, remember. We have to have 10 laps under green. And the $1 million challenge is over for the 77 of Romain Grosjean. He is out of it. And the field was frozen, so he's still registering in 7th place, but he's 100% not in 7th. Well,
That's true, and
surprise.
you know, and quite surprisingly, I'm surprised that didn't take out more cars as well. You know, with Romain Grosjean going across the track, you know, the leaders were all leaders had just, you know, leaders almost got caught up in that, but yeah, Romain Grosjean hasn't had the best start, you know, to the year, as we see Borchoff from the Aussie Willpower, and
he's going for Newgarden around the outside. Oh, you're right. How did that not come off?
And he
Oh.
barely got through, Josh. I mean, by the skin of his teeth, he got through this, and if he would have been knocked out, that's one. Oh, wow.
Damage to the side of one of the Hy-V cars. Now, is that going to be Lundgaard? Yeah. So Lundgaard's got problems as well as VK and got taken out by Grosjean's wrecking ball. So Dixon takes 2 cars off, and then VK gets taken out by Grosjean and several of the cars involved. There's only 14 cars, and they've all managed to run into each other. Well, I don't know if Jackson's with us at the moment.
No.
No, he's not. Does anyone know if he's actually coming into the pit lane? Because if he can jump in and get us some interviews, because Roman Grosjean's walking down there, and I'd love for him to go and get a word with him. That's ideally what we can use him for. Get him into the pit lane and get him in there in the pit area and see what he can do down there on the circuit. So, under yellow at the moment, once again here at the Thermal Club in the INDYCAR race for $1 million. Grosjean's out of the race, and new set of earplugs, and I think NBC are going to speak with him first. They're standing by, ready for him. So we'll get ready to hear from the changeover. Oops, our cameras are really not liking the changes today out here. Let's go back stateside and hear more news.
INDYCAR brought to you by Hy-Vee. This racing season helped Hy-Vee reach its goal of 100 million meals by visiting Hy-Vee.com. And by Hub International, official insurance brokerage provider of RLL. Hub International, helping you be ready for tomorrow. AMR safety team is out on the track trying to clean up the mess. Two-car collision, actually. There were more than two cars that came together, but two cars seriously wounded. Marty Snyder.
Grosjean back to his pit stall. That seemed awfully early after a great weekend for you guys. What's your take on that contact?
Well, I got hit on the braking, so I haven't seen the footage, but I got hit really, really badly at the back, and then the car spun. I mean, it's who's going to pay for the damage? You know, we come here with no points on the line, we do nothing wrong, and the car is completely smart.
Oh, and we've lost the broadcast.
What is that?
Is this the type of racing we're going to see all day, Roman?
I don't know, but it's not what I signed IndyCar for.
He is clearly very upset, and he asked me who hit him, and it was Dixon. I said, I think it was indeed the 9 car, Scott Dixon. He told me, quote, that's completely uncalled for.
Uncalled for, certainly unintentional. You know, first lap, no one's been breaking down turn 1 there, Diff, so it's hard to judge going in to that first lap.
First time.
Another thing different this week that they're trying, IndyCar's trying new things in this all-star format here. Push to pass was available at the drop of the green, so some drivers on the button, others not. Either way, we'd also saw Christian Lundgaard had some decent contact. You see Kyle Kirkwood there with a little bit of damage on the nose, so all sorts of calamity in that first turn.
As you can see, leading this field back to green, and the lights are off on the official pace car of the Thermal $1 Million Challenge. This is the 2024 Honda Civic Type R. When you see those bigger shots, just have a look how graphic this is. It looked like a video game.
Oh my word.
Grosjean just spinning out of control and across and into that green and black car of Rinus VeeKay. Check this out. Unabated, just straight into the young Dutch driver. Not his fault. Everybody dived for cover like Will Power, and things opened up for...
Okay, Sky having numerous problems with their connections at the moment. We lost the signal there as we come back to green flag running. Everything going a bit nuts out here today at the moment, so we apologise. But it's not our fault. For once, it's not. It is the fault of the NBC broadcasters. Coming back to green then, there'll be a single file restart. Coming out of the last 2 corners, here we are then. Ready and steady and willing to go racing once more here. Green flag is out at the restart zone. We're racing on the Thermal Club. Now we have 10 laps to get through here. Can we make it as we take the green down towards turn number 1 for the first time? Already, Lundgaard looks to the inside, trying to get ahead. So McLaughlin to Newgarden 3rd, Lundgaard's 4th. Now we see the order start to correct itself, Josh, and the challenge can properly begin. It's Rosenquist, McLaughlin, Newgarden, London, Dixon in top 5. It's a tight second to overtake at.
Absolutely, and you say we're going to green. There was a car very nearly lost it on the final corner. It's a tricky corner, that, and one of the danger zones, but they kept it in a straight line just
about, Adam, and now they're all... we saw with testing, it was always going to be questionable how good we can race here, and overtaking is going to be limited, but there are some nice open straights on the track.
Yes, there is, Josh. We're seeing one of them now, and... looks like a nice sunny day out there in beautiful Southern California for this non-championship event, and quite interesting to see him race here at the Thermal Club. So
over past Max Verstappen's new apartment building. He's recently purchased a Thermal Club property. Him and Kelly Piquet and little Penelope will be spending vacations here. So if they do come back to IndyCar racing, Max might want to take a look. But after today, I think that's where he's heading, not finishing the Australian Grand Prix at all. But we've completed one lap. It's a long lap here at the Thermal Club, 1 minute 41.949. And that's why, JT, we panicked a little bit. There's a 45-minute gap between sessions because they know probably this could be a long time if we go yellows. Oh, and Dixon's in the pit lane, and that must be for essential changeover only because no pit stops are allowed. So Dixon pitting and possibly losing out on money unless it's a drive-through penalty. I'm not too sure if that caused any contact. It could be a drive-through penalty. It is a drive-through penalty.
And look at that at the top. Last time they came across the line, Rosenqvist and McLaughlin separated by 1,000. That's got to be wrong. The top three were not separated by 2,000ths of a second that last time.
Yeah, 5 tenths to McLaughlin and then 1.1 to Newgarden and McLaughlin. So yeah, that is wrong across the board there. I was wondering what the difference would be. New timing towers playing us up a little bit as well as we try and get it sorted for you. It's a brand new system that we're trying out, of course. We saw Josh T have it at St. Pete, and it's our new timing graphic alongside, so it gives us more information on our race coverage weekend. Driver track is also being a bit glitchy out there, but at least we've got everything working ASAP. Don't forget, following us here, we've also got the race at NASCAR at COTA, so that's following us on USON. As the race continues, it's only lap 2, of course. Rosenqvist leads the Honda, and now we've got a bit of an overtake as well because Lundgaard's trying to have a go at Newgarden. It's not working out too much. That's coming down into turn 15 and 16 on the circuit. So it's coming towards the line to complete lap 2. It's a 17-turn circuit, this, but it's a long loop. We don't use all of the Thermal Club because that goes up in a sort of triangle section right at the top of the hill. We use the infield section as well. With all the other club circuits put together, it's a tight, twisty circuit as Rombel with Lundgaard now coming into it. As you can see, he's round turn 1 on your driver tracker, then into 3 and 4, and pushes hard again. And I think, Josh, as well, this is going to be, if you've qualified on pole from your group stages, you're in a really good opportunity to get the race win and get through to that final.
Yeah, absolutely, but one person who I think we expected to be in the final isn't going to be in the final. Scott Dixon, who had that drive-through penalty, and of course, you've got the red circuit, the blue circuit, and the green circuit, which we aren't using. In the green circuit, you go off right just after 9, turn 10, and it returns just before turn 10 as well. So in between turns 9 and 10 is where that green circuit is. At the top there, the blue circuit, I believe, is the upper part, and the red circuit is the lower part.
It's a weird circuit, this, as well, but it's fun. Testing, maybe not racing, because the field's spread out by quite a bit, actually. 25 seconds to Dixon, but 9 seconds to Power. They're all on lead laps, of course, and the only real battle we're seeing at the moment is Lundgaard, who is hounding Newgarden. But remember, the top 6 from each progress forward, so there doesn't really need to be a running here to have a go. They could just about hold it together as we lose driver tracker because, you know, NASCAR
Power up the inside of Stingray Rob. That's for 10th.
He's got him.
Got him. Looking up at 7th. Look at Siegel just on the bubble.
Okay, so he's going to have an attempt on it as well. Good stuff there from Power up to P10. He's got to make up those. 6th place is only where you get it. So there'll still be some challenges to face. Oh, this is what we like. This is the old style of NASCAR, sorry, of IndyCar racing. I've got confused there. Honestly, 12 hours sleep across 72 hours isn't the best. And it's been stagnated as well. It's been like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours as well. Never had a successful run. Megan says I've only had 2 sleep cycles, so that's not great in total to come in. But already 1.3. Adam, come on, IndyCar fan of many a year. This isn't really working, is it, so far in Heat 1? It's too spread out.
Yeah, it is. It is too spread out. And from what I've seen online from Marshall Report, they'll evaluate after this year, and they'll evaluate this and think about next year in the months to come. So it's nice, but if we really want like a non-championship event, you take it to a place where IndyCar normally wouldn't go. I mean, I don't know. Maybe to an oval, that they no longer go to. I hear, I don't know, in this springtime. I wish Auto Club Speedway was still around, because that would be the perfect place to have a non-championship event. I mean, it's so. Yeah, I wish Auto Club Speedway was still around, because a non-championship event there. Oh,
that would be a lot better, yeah.
But the fans would absolutely come in droves. You know what I mean?
Power up the inside, getting ahead of Kyle Kirkwood, and Kirkwood saying, okay, I'll fight right back on the inside, but Power has got ahead of him, so we haven't seen this little action on the track, because I think Power's sticking right round the outside across the thermal line. Oh, up the inside, he's got him. Okay. Well, where was that Power move 5 minutes ago? But he's up to 9th now as well. Jackson Ambrose has just texted in saying that he's found somewhere to commentate from, because guess who's kicked him out of where he was yesterday during qualifying? Townsend Bell and NBC. They've kicked him out of where he was yesterday. So Jackson's found another place to commentate from, and he'll be with us in Heat 2, definitely though for the final race from trackside. And I said, go get an interview with Romain Grosjean. He says, I don't want to fight God right now. So that's a pretty much good idea.
And all of you who are watching our coverage, go subscribe to the Good Network, because like Josh said, Jackson has sit on site, and he has provided updates Friday and yesterday. So the Good Network is so close to getting 1,000 subscribers. Want to do it soon. So and they'll have a complete wrap-up of all the action across this weekend, 90 minutes after the NASCAR Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas later on tonight.
JT, we've got this Rosenquist just cruising out front. I think I agree with Grosjean's point. Who's going to pay for the damage here? Because it's a non-championship race, and they're pushing, but nobody wants to attack, really. So I've got a feeling that this is going to fall on deaf ears. And we're going to go to a timed race now, everyone. So we're going to go to 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. So the lap counter doesn't count. Radio? Yeah, so we've gone to a timed race now.
Yeah. When was the last time IndyCar went to a timed race?
I have no idea.
Has it ever gone to a timed race?
I don't think it has, I'm actually trying to think if it has, and I don't think it has. I can't even get the backup timer working, so I'm not even going to bother. I cannot remember in my life an IndyCar race going to time, but they were against a schedule here because they have to get off at a certain time. They've got a schedule to keep, so the heat race will end early. So what's the point in even having laps? Let's just set it to time. You have to complete the time, even with yellows. I mean, it's a bit of a daft thing if we have laps. 4 to go, 2:25 the clock. It's a 1 minute 41. So I've got 2 laps to go on my board. That's what I'm thinking. And
wait, so caution counts to the timer, but not to laps?
Yes.
Make that make sense?
Not a clue. Please. Not a clue.
Thank you.
Really bizarre.
I even looked online. I didn't see anything either. I've been watching IndyCar racing like ever. So it's like, it's weird that they're going, but you have to stick to the schedule. So at least they're sticking to it.
I'd just like to point out, I've got this weirdest feeling that IndyCar's brand new timing tower hasn't been working during this first heat race. No, it hasn't. What's happened here? Contact. What? I can't see it on the monitor. I'm going to have to go windowed protection here. What did it say? VK contacts, Grosjean contacts, and best lap. So they haven't removed them from the board. And Lundgaard is back ahead of Newgarden apparently, but he's not. So that's very strange. It hasn't. The timing tower is going in the odd numbers of the way it's going to be. That's a strange one. I think I might swap back to timing 71. That's giving us correct info at the moment. That one isn't out there on the monitor. So we'll give it. It's Rosenquist, McLaughlin, Newgarden, Lundgaard, Canapino, Herta as well. And they're the top 6 progressing through. If you're listening to us on USON, welcome. It's a non-championship race and we're covering all the action. We've already covered Formula 1 for you this morning, and now we're covering you the Thermal Club, where we'll also be bringing you NASCAR. Matthew Owens is busy with March Madness. And Matt White will be joining us in the comms box for NASCAR in a couple of hours' time. The white flag is out, though, for the final lap then here at Heat 1. 3 laps short, they're going to cut this one. For some reason, I must admit, this has failed already in Heat 1. I don't think it's going to be that great. It's a nice little thing to have on in the background, but it's too tight of a track. You can't overtake. No one wants to risk it because of damage to the track and damage to the cars. They've got championship points on the line next time out at Long Beach in 2.5 weeks' time. So they don't want to do this. And it's going to be like, well, let's just wait and see. But I don't know. Josh, they're coming into the last couple of corners now. What do you think of Heat 1? I do not think it's worked.
Yeah, but I mean, we had that start incident, so maybe if we don't have that start incident, we'll see how it is.
Heat 2 coming up later. That's going to be a factor. They've got to have about a 10-minute break or something to get everything sorted. And then we'll see what happens. JT's got the schedule, but Heat 1 victor here at the Thermal Club for Felix Rosenquist on the road to $1 million. He's going to have it, but McLaughlin's right there to challenge. You get no money for this part of the weekend. It's money only in the final race later, so you get nothing for winning the heat races at all. And Grosjean doesn't even get $23,000 for his troubles today. He doesn't. He gets nothing. Only the final runners get the money. Checker flags out for Heat 1. Rosenquist takes it. McLaughlin, followed by Newgarden, Lundgaard, Canapino and Herta will be the last ones across the line. But there's still a little bit of a fight behind to see who's going to finish where. Segal, Ferrucci, Power, Kirkwood, Robb, Dixon, VK, Grosjean, they were already out of the race, those last 2. And Heat 1 comes to an end in a very bizarre manner. Did it work? Oh, well, we'll see in Heat 2, but it needs work. Needs some TLC on that one. Rosenquist on top. Biggest drama, though, from the opener here was the contact as soon as we went racing. That eliminated Romain Grosjean and VK as a result of Dixon. He got a drive-through penalty. He's out of the order as well. Heat 1 done. Heat 2 next. Let's go to Tom Gable.
Big names in that first heat, so if you want a little bit of an update as to what's happening, the top 6 will go through to the big show. We've got another heat coming up after this. We'll take 6 from that heat to make 12 in the big show. And if you wonder who starts from pole position in the next heat, it's Alex Palou. He had the fastest of the 2 qualifying heats in terms of time. So if he wins Heat 2, he'll start the main event from pole. But let's look at this. Romain Grosjean, gone. Renus VK, gone. Scott Dixon, gone. Stingray Robb as well, missed out. Kyle Kirkwood, gone. Will Power, another big name, out. And just missing the cut. Nolan Siegel there in his debut race. He doubled his time in an INDYCAR. In terms of testing yesterday, he went very well today, but it was the cool, calm and collective Felix Rosenquist. He's like the Carlos Sainz of INDYCAR, isn't he? He's proven himself at top teams. They've not kept him. He's gone to Meyer Shank, and he started this season on an absolute high. He was box office at St. Pete. He's delivered in qualifying and, of course, this first heat, but he's got to do it again in the main event to win the $500,000. And Meyer Shank with that collaboration with Andretti, the top team really when it comes to Andretti entrance, because Colton Herta dropped off the back of Augustin Canapino in that heat. Carl Kirkwood dropped off the back of Will Power. They had a difficult qualifying Andretti, and it's the Meyer Shank entry of Felix Rosenqvist that's showing them the way. That said, Colton Herta has made it through to the main event. He will be one to watch. He was the big mover and shaker in that heat. He started 11th and he ended up 6th. So watch out for Colton Herta in that main event. Watch out as well for Scotty Mack, the thirsty threes. He's always up for a good race, and we know Scotty Mack's going to give it absolutely everything. He's been talking that up all week. He wants that $500,000, and Christian Lugard and Joseph Newgard are two names that you could never discount. But now we turn our attentions to Heat 2.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. What's up, nerds?
What's up, Mr. Lambros? How you doing out there in Southern California, eh?
It is amazing. I'm on top of the True Speed Garage right now looking into... I've got a flawless view pretty much of this entire first half of the track all the way up through turn 8. I've got good news and I've got bad news. I've got everything set up. My battery is indefinite.
Really?
So if I'm lucky, I'm going to be able to make this call to the start of Heat 1. Or to the start of the main. I don't know how long I'm going to last here, but I will be with you guys as long as possible. I can guarantee you that.
Sounds good, my friend. Let's hear from Felix Rosenqvist.
Confidence boost does this give this team?
It's an awesome start. It was, man, it felt like a long race. I was dragging quite bad in the end. Lost my rears a bit, and Scott, I think I was a bit quicker in the beginning, and then he had really good pace in the end and a bit more push to pass. But it was fairly under control. But yeah, super pleased with my team, Meyer Shank Racing. This is great start for us.
Your mind immediately, I'm sure, goes to what that final race will be like. What did you learn in the heat that you can apply later?
I mean, it was a bit of a tricky one. It started off really dusty, but it cleaned up fairly quick. I'd say 2-3 laps. So you kind of learn at a track on the fly, which has been the case here all week. But yeah, the long race is going to be a challenge for sure with 20 laps on those tires. So yeah, maybe I'm not sure how many adjustments we can make, but I think I'm going to try to do something. So.
And remember, Felix is new to Meyer Shank Racing, so this is a huge win for this race team. Heat number 2 about to come up from the Thermal Club in just a moment here on NBC Sports.
So then, Jackson, nice to have you down there trackside for us as well, and you're with the Grid Network. What's it been like throughout this weekend as we get ready for the second stage?
Josh, it's great to be back. It's great to be Jack. It is absolutely, I would say it's the best weather we've had all weekend here. Just the right amount of coolness and clouds in the sky. Wind, very, very, very calm right now.
Oh, have we lost him? Has he still got signal?
On top of the True Speed Garage, looking down at the front straightaway here through the entirety of this first section.
Sorry about that, I pressed the wrong button. But nice to have you. All sounds good as well. So stage 2 coming up then, the second heat, and it's going to be Palou, Armstrong, Rahal, then it's going to be Lundqvist, Blomqvist, Fittipaldi, Rossi, Eilert, Award, Simpson, Rasmussen, Braun and Ericsson. Josh T, you were commentating at St. Pete. Which ones are you going to be looking forward to that maybe could get forward higher up the grid?
Well, keep an eye on the number 8 of Linus Lundqvist, of course, in his rookie year, and he is starting 4th, so keep an eye on him.
I can hear in the background they're going past
Hey
Jackson.
guys, don't count out Santino Ferrucci at all, that AJ Foyt car. He's been able to prove pace in where he doesn't have that pace in that AJ Foyt racing machine. He will have the aggression and he will have the confidence in this car to potentially get himself into that top 6 to move on.
I love that Jackson's trackside. We can hear the cars going past him as well. We'll get it sorted soon. He's got a great vantage point, as you said, down at turn 8. Having a look all around that other section of the track. And already a problem for the 28 of Marcus Ericsson. A little bit of fluid coming out the rear of the car. Jackson's going to go past you. Let us know what you see from Ericsson's car. Looks like a problem on the rear right.
He is slightly behind. Talked to Ziggy, one of their chief mechanics, yesterday. It's a complete rebuild of the rear end of that car from yesterday. Guys were up late last night trying to get that together. He seemed to carry on all right here, watching his pace. A little bit further up the field, puff of smoke from one of the two white and blue cars. Believe that was either Alex Pillow, not Alex Pillow. He's in the DHL colors now, but the Ridgeline colors right now. Focus, Jackson. It was either Linus Lundqvist or Graham Rahal with a bit of a lockup trying to get heat into those Firestone Firehawks.
Excellent. Here we go then. We're getting ready for the start procedure that'll be coming round this lap. Remember, it's 10 laps under green flag that we have to do as well. And we're seeing Townsend Bell doing it. So, Jackson, just quick, was it Townsend Bell who kicked you out? Because he's in your spot you were in yesterday.
It wasn't T-Bell. There was a mutual respect for one another. NBC guys have been very nice to me. IndyCar Radio guys have been really nice to me this whole weekend as the dollar store version of both. But I want to respect them and let them do a real job. I would like for the permission, though, to try and do my fake job and call the start of this race as the lights are off on the safety car.
If you can see it, your trackside, you'll have a better vantage point. I would love it for you to call a race trackside for us in the start procedure.
Good. My pleasure, Josh. Lights are off on the Honda Civic Type R pace car. Second group here. Who is going to be in the battle for $500,000? We are about to find out as we are about to go racing here for the second time at the Thermal Club. Will the chaos match that of the first round? Will we keep it in one piece? Let's find out. Green hand in the flags of Aaron Likens. We're racing for the second time here at Thermal Club. Single file line so far down into turn one. No big zoom so far. They'll go three wide here as one of the McLarens makes a move to the inside. Big bunch up, but they seem to get through turn one in one piece. All of them seeming to spread single file out here. Still Pillow and the other Ganassi making it all green 1-2. Big dive in the front. Not sure who made a move there.
Very contact through turn one. The McLarens are right there, and it was literally side by side. I believe, actually, the two McLarens did make contact as well as they're coming back up. And JT already on the inside. We're seeing Graham Rahal having a battle with Marcus Armstrong at the front, and also getting involved there is Linus Lundqvist.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
moves from the McLarens up front here. Sorry, Josh. It is currently Ilott, then Rossi and Pillow as one of the cars off track.
Right, that's going to be a yellow then if they're not careful. We'll see if that changes. JT, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. As we wait for our TV pictures, Callum Ilott, there's a little bit of a twitch from one of the McLarens just behind. Two is off track. We wait for the TV pictures. There it is. It's just a puff of smoke. And there's a car dropping back, but continued, just got a little bit wide on the glass.
I'm not entirely sure who that is. It looked like it might have been Linus Lundqvist.
It was fully white.
Yeah, I can't see who it is.
All white, that's Colin Braun.
Right, so he's dropped down to 13th place then. So as they come past across the start line, Adam, it was a good start. What do you make of that? A lot cleaner than race heat one.
Group one was start for heat number two here at the Thermal Club in Southern California. Yeah, just enjoying it on this nice sunny Sunday.
Jackson, what are you seeing trackside?
Big spread out here between these first two Ganassi cars. It's Armstrong and Pillow sitting pretty way up there. After that, Rahal holds third. Big scrap continues here between all three of the McLarens as they're trying to get their way into the top six. Another big puff of smoke there from Alexander Rossi as Pato O'Ward tries to work around the outside here. Another big lock up there.
All the McLarens getting in there.
The inside.
Is it me or is Ilott doing really well with the McLarens recently? He's got up there brilliantly, and it's just dramatic stuff at the moment, JT. They are fighting hard as they see the McLarens locking up, as we saw Jackson mentioned earlier on, and they are literally nearly making contact with each other. I can't believe this.
Rosenqvist round the outside of O'Ward, then O'Ward goes down the inside of Rosenqvist, locks up, very nearly goes into the side of his Arrow McLaren teammate as we continue circulating. As well, the three McLarens together with Tom Blomqvist just ahead who's getting involved. And that, Josh, is just a massive train going round the circuit.
I wonder if we'll get the overtakes. That was something we didn't have in Heat 1, but Heat 2 is a lot more close together. Jackson.
I'll tell you this. We had anxiety of guys trying to keep it in one piece. These guys are so aggressive. They're willing to get their fangs out over their own teammates, and the McLarens are a great example. You guys are about to see a potential move for a pass here, as it appears that the white and red car of, I want to say that is Christian Lundgaard. No. Some movements here from the McLarens as they're trying to get their way into that top 6 spot. Meanwhile, way up front, these two Chip Ganassi cars are just in cruise control, guys.
Yeah, it can't be Lundgaard as he was in heat race 1. It could possibly have been Colin Braun with his little white stripe as well, as we have a look at the replay of all the McLarens.
Is it Fittipaldi or Blomqvist? It's Blomqvist. Is it Blomqvist in the Meyer Shank Racing? I think it's Blomqvist looking at the McLaren there. Yes, it is. It's Tom Blomqvist. So it's the 66
yes,
of Blomqvist.
Blomqvist is ahead as Ilott is working to get around.
Out of turn 1 and 2 they come.
We'd like to make a correction there. It's Tom Blomqvist currently holding off all those McLarens.
As they go past you and through this very tight hairpin at the first turns. It's officially called turns 2 and 3, the double apex. Then into 4, 5 chicane, opens back up through 6, and there's the long straight towards 7, 8. This is where Jackson's watching from. As off the track goes one of the McLarens, as that's going to be Ilott with Rossi coming right around the outside of him. Ilott, of course, is driving for full-time C in IndyCar as he's temporarily taken over from the Lucas in that car.
Absolutely, and I think we're struggling to understand just what this means for Callum Ilott, who's not just showing pace right now. He's been fastest of the 3 McLarens all weekend, and I think this is a #1 resume builder, or a application, if you will, for saying, hey, I'm in WEC this year. I'm not opposed to coming back here and doing this full-time again in 25. Here's a big move on track. The McLarens are still getting at it. Eyes on that.
So Rossi gets up to 7th. Ilott's down to 8. O'Ward's now going to fancy a little bit of a party. So it's these two battling. But all the time that the McLarens battle out, they're losing out time to Blomqvist, who is the last position that can qualify for the next race. So they've got to get out there, Adam. And I think, well, do you think Blomqvist just keeps control as the two McLarens touch tips?
I am surprised Tom Blomqvist has held off these McLarens for as long as he has.
Eyes on Alexander Rossi. He'll make it the move into turn #1. Big dive on the brakes. Rossi's in. He's in the provisional spot. Eyes on the second McLaren to get around that Meyer Shank car.
Fantastic dive bomb, and Blomqvist tried to hold on around the outside as long as he could, but that was good from Rossi, and now he's even pushed him off the track. So that was what you were seeing, Jackson, and here comes on the inside. O'Ward gets through, and Ilott's been passed as well. He might go through, and through goes O'Ward, and I feel sorry for Blomqvist because he's going to get very much close to contact with Ilott. Wheel-to-wheel stuff here. This is better. This is more like it. What happened in race 1? All too frayed. Race 2's go.
You want overtakes at Thermal Club. You got it. Arrow McLaren guys delivering at the expense of one Tom Blomqvist. Still only his second full-time race here in IndyCar equipment. Still proving a ton of pace that both of these Shank guys have had, but still has to try and make something happen here if he wants that $500,000.
Simpson on a move.
He's going to dive bomb the inside. He was weaving on the straight, trying to get temperature into the tyres, and he's trying to go around the outside of Rasmussen. Not going to pay off there just yet, but Adam, was a good move for the McLarens. They deal with Blomqvist quite quickly.
Yeah, once Kalamala got around Tom Blomqvist, it was like, follow the leader, and it was. Yeah, we'll see how these McLarens can get closer to the front as we're almost halfway in heat #2 at Thermal Club.
Let's hear from Scott Dixon, his trackside.
On how that race started.
Yeah, it was, there was a lot going on, that's for sure. I think initially Herder and I got into it, and then Grosjean went to the left. I thought he was going all the way to the left, which was going to open up the middle, and then kind of all of a sudden he started to fade back to the right, and then everybody stopped so early, a lot earlier than I thought we were going to, especially with the massive headwind that we got going on. But obviously, don't want to collect anybody and apologize to anybody that was collected in that incident. But yeah, it was all going on in a short space of time, and sometimes that happens, unfortunately.
Just like a 6-time champ, Scott Dixon owning up to how it started in Heat 1.
What are you seeing, Jackson, over there trackside?
Alexander Rossi remains as the lone Arrow McLaren in this #6 spot to move on. It is interesting for me to think what the rest of those Arrow McLaren cars are thinking. Do I want to get my fangs out and try to get into this main event? Or do I maybe not want to risk getting both of us out and not having Papaya in here for the main event? Super comfy crews still here for Armstrong and Pillow, guys.
Suppose JT as well, this is going to be the factor because we've got Chip Ganassi going to go through. They want the money as we got side by side as Simpson and Ericsson do battle. And that's Ericsson over 11th place and he's lost out, I think, as Rasmussen takes 10th as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Simpson is making moves, but down in 11th, it's with a gap of like 5 seconds. I don't think Simpson will be able to get it done, but if he was higher up in the field, definitely a possibility.
So 13 left in this race after them. We should have had 14, but there's only 27 permanently in the championship this year. Next up, we'll have the fastest 6 from each. We'll go through. We already have Rosenquist from McLaughlin, Newgard and Longard, Canapino and Hurd. So they'll start on the odd side of the grid. The even side will be set by this running order going forward, which actually makes it easier because then I've got a grid straight away prepped up ready for you on my notes to give you exactly the information as we ride with Rossi. Now he's going to try his 1 point, well actually he's less than that. What's the gap between him and Fittipaldi? About 7 tenths.
He's on the defensive.
Right.
He's on the defensive.
I thought so because Ross is going to be right there. And here comes O'Ward into the mix as well. So McLaren's might still battle. And the two...
I really think it is all eyes here. Sorry, Josh. All eyes on Pato O'Ward trying to figure out what he can do to get his number 5 in as we are running out of time here to make something happen.
So, Jackson, that was going to be my question to you. Would the two McLarens just do battle, or will they try and get Fittipaldi together and get him out and get 2 McLarens in there?
It's got to be this balance of teamwork, but also trying to, coexist here on this racetrack. We know it's difficult for that to happen, and there's only 1 or 2 places we can realistically see that, whether that's turn 2 or turn 3. But I think right now it's just every man for himself, if I'm being completely honest with you, Josh.
It's all about the money, as who said that? Jessie J would say that, all about the money as well. And I'll tell you what, Josh T, it's getting absolutely epic now because they're all starting to close out with 4 laps to go, and I think Lundqvist might have a go at Rahal just for fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 6 of 10. Lundqvist coming up towards the next couple of corners. We go around the
Graham
right
Rahal still heavily on the defensive here. Same for Emerson. Pietro Fittipaldi. Meanwhile, Tom Blomqvist wants to move forward. He's got 2 cars in his rearview mirrors trying to do whatever he can to get himself into this final heat.
Down into turn 1, Lundqvist got closer and closer to Rahal, but fell back a little bit. But Fittipaldi just behind Lundqvist, but just behind Fittipaldi, it's Rossi.
Closing up once more at the exit, back on the power. Keep your fingers crossed that this is going to be a nice one. Go on, Jackson.
Rossi in 6th. If anything is going to happen here in this final stage, it's going to be O'Ward making some big ballsy moves on his McLaren teammate to make it happen. I don't think Rossi has any intentions of having that happen as he's already still on the gearbox of Pietro Fittipaldi. But we're going to see here. Second section, it's got to be almost 30 car lengths for both of these McLaren, or for both of these Chip Ganassi machines up in front here, but still far from over here for the rest of these cars.
I suppose, Adam, as well, this is great news. Chip Ganassi, if they're strong here, they're going to be strong to get that $1 million in the next stage of the final.
Yeah, it's when there's $1 million on the line, this much money, everyone's going to be giving it their all. So I think when it comes to the finale, it's going to be go for broke, hang on tight, and put all your chips in the middle, and see who can bring home the
eyes on Christian Rasmussen here, guys.
Where is he down the order? Rasmussen.
I'm not sure if you guys can see him.
Going down towards turn 1 now, Josh.
Right, we're on board with Fittipaldi, so we still haven't seen it just yet. If you can see it, Jackson, take over, because we're also on board with Fittipaldi.
Rasmussen, nothing quite yet, but he's all over the gearbox of Callum Ilott. Tried making a move into turn 1, got lost on the brakes, almost chopped his nose off there, kept it in one piece and kind of prevented a tragedy. It's him and Callum Ilott still trying to make something happen to get around Tom Blomqvist. Wind picking up big time now, pushing us heavily with a wind kind of blowing south here. Of all of the directions, the wind has not blown the same direction at all any day. it's just changed consistently every single time.
How mad is your hairline then? Has it been thrown up in the air massively?
Hair's in one piece. It's awesome having palm trees everywhere you look because they act as giant windsocks telling you where the wind is blowing. Enough gel, though, for me where I don't think that's an issue.
Fair dues, I would look ridiculous. I can tell you that right now. So maybe I'm good at being in the commentary box for this one. As you head down, 3 to go. On board with Lundqvist now. We haven't seen Rasmussen once, so NBC have not picked up on what Jackson's seeing trackside as well. As I think this is the first time US Arena have actually had anyone trackside. Not the first time for us at JBMotorsports, but for US Arena, I think this is the first time they've had anyone trackside during the commentary. So fun all round if you listen to us. You are, yeah. It's great, nice to have you. Brilliant to have you down there. You're not planning to go anymore, are you? Over there?
If Long Beach maybe, Laguna Seca maybe, for both IMSA and INDYCAR for their race in July, if I can make anything happen. INDYCAR folks here have been super nice to a noob like me, so stay tuned. We'll see what we can get happening here.
So they attack again. Oh, it's getting close. 2 to go. What do you think, Josh?
2 to go.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Jackson. You've got it.
Go, Josh.
I was just
No. Go, Josh.
I was going to say to Josh T as well, any last gasp manoeuvres? Because everyone looks to be, it's Fittipaldi, Rossi and O'Ward really that are going to fight over that 6th position to try and get through, because they have closed out to Fittipaldi.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 tenths. Rossi is behind Fittipaldi, then 9 tenths. O'Ward back to Rossi. They could work together, the two McLarens, to try and get up, and just half a second in front is Linus Lundqvist. So if they work together quickly and effectively, they could get both of them in.
Jackson, what are you seeing?
Coming through the second section through the Suzuka-style S's here. Still a bit of a checkup. No movement on track quite yet. Gap from Rossi to O'Ward still about 2.5, 3 car lengths. Not anything I can see right now as they go to this final Sebring-esque turn 17. Long right-hander, real bumpy. Guys are getting air here if you've seen off the curbs as they're heading into turn number 1. Still single file. I don't think we're going to see any moves here, and I think there's a lot of guys saying that it's not worth it for me to go in, really get my fangs out to get into this final group if it's at the expense of a front wing or suspension or any of these very expensive IndyCar bits.
White flag's out, Peller's going to take it, and I must admit, Jackson's doing amazing from his first commentary just at the Rolex 24, then having a Formula 1 race, now going trackside commentary. You couldn't tell you that you're new to the job. Jackson, you're doing brilliantly out there.
We're off the deep end. We're having a blast. We say a lot, this isn't my first rodeo, but this is quite literally my first rodeo.
It's working well, my friend, as we're seeing we're seeing Palou actually just sliding around. He's coming in to turns 11 and 12, as you say, the back half of the S's, and then the long sweeping turn 14 brings you back down the straight where the alternative start-finish line is on the other circuit, past where Max Verstappen just bought a new house and where I believe you were standing yesterday, Jackson, was around that area in the media centre. As they exit,
I'm right above pit exit or pit entry. The house over there, as we see the checkered flag in the hands of Aaron Likens. Alex Palou and the Green Ridgeline machine will cruise to victory lane for heat number 1. He's moving on alongside his teammate in Marcus Armstrong. A little bit further back in the field, it's looking like Ray Hall will do the same with Linus Lundqvist, and it is a completely unchanged position here as Alexander Rossi will be the lone Aero McLaren driver to move on and get his chance for $500,000. How about Pietro Fittipaldi, though? Only his 3rd IndyCar race, 2nd as a full-time driver, and he's already proven himself to be one of the best in the business.
What a run. Palou and Armstrong take it here in the $1 million challenge. This is the 2nd heat that we've had. Heat 1 was dramatic. Heat 2 was more of action and racing. Can't wait to see what this final has to offer. and that'll be getting underway shortly. Reminder, it's about a 15-minute break now before we do a 20-lap race around this circuit. 2 10-minute or 10 laps sprints. There'll be a red flag in the centre. They'll come in, refuel and change, and Jackson, you have a great view of that when we get going. But for now, we're going to hand over to Tom Gaymore.
Close on that bubble from Fittipaldi, Rossi, O'Ward, Blomqvist down. And interestingly, the tyre degradation after 10 laps, that's going to be the big talking point going into the $1 million main event. The 20-lap distance. Well, if you talk to drivers up and down, I was talking to Jack Harvey, who's here helping out Nolan Siegel. They think the tyres are going to be down to the cords. So it's going to be a completely different affair come the main event. The tyre degradation is going to be huge, and the drop-off is going to really challenge some of these teams and drivers. I've just tweeted
start time 1:59, so 59 minutes past.
That's a long wait.
Ray Hall, Letterman and Flanagan. And a fair shout out to them, because that's no mean feat. Got some big teams up and down pit road, and some big names that haven't made it through. So big shout out to RLL. And now we set our sights on that main event. Who's going to take home the $500,000? Well, someone is going to have to get ahead of that man, Alex Palou. And that Chip Ganassi Honda looks really, really fast. One of the reasons it's quick, they're on the 2023 tyre. We had new compounds at St. Pete last time out. Those 2024 tyres are designed for the hybrid engine. These tyres here that we're running this weekend, these are from the Barber race last year. They're 2023 tyres. And Chip Ganassi and Alex Palou, we know just how quick they were on that rubber at times last year. The teams did test on this as well at Thermal early on in the winter. So it's going to be interesting to see who's got their head around the deck here. That's really going to play a huge part in the 20-lap feature race. That's going to come up in 2 parts. There's going to be a half time when teams can change things, refuel, that kind of thing. So the only thing they can't do is change tyres. Well, let's head back stateside now to this Thermal Club setup for more feedback after the heats.
Yeah, and my feedback's going to be thrown to Jackson if he's listening, because I want to know, what are you seeing from the media centre with the cars down in pit lane? What's the atmosphere like? Might not hear him. We'll hand back over to NBC.
Quick reminder that American Legion is dedicated to helping veterans through their toughest times by creating an outlet for vets to be the one to ask, listen, and reach out for help. You can learn more at www.betheone.org, and you'll see the American Legion logo right there on Linus Lundqvist's Honda. Chip Ganassi Racing representing the Legion and also helping spread a really important message for our vets. Welcome back to this beautiful location, folks. This is the Thermal Club in the Coachella Valley in California, about 3 hours east of Los Angeles. Lee Diffie, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe, Marty Snyder, and Kevin Lee with you. And speaking of names, here are the 6 names going through to the main event.
Yeah, really impressive runs from the number 8 and 30, Lundqvist and Fittipaldi. 2 of the more inexperienced drivers in the field, but they showed great patience, great maturity, especially being very thrifty with their push-to-pass button. They advance, and full credit to Alexander Rossi battling it out for the cut line there with his teammates. That is dicey stuff.
That was dicey stuff, but great racing. And again, as you said, shout out to Linus, only rookie that advances to the final, so an impressive drive for him. But Ganassi clearly on form this weekend.
If you were to say that Scott Dixon and Pato O'Ward would not make the $1 Million Challenge, that is something, but neither of those star drivers do not. But Alex Palou just dominated that second heat. Let's learn more about the Spaniard's driving style.
It's tough to describe my own driving style. I would say it's not too aggressive.
Let's go! I wouldn't say he's the most aggressive racer, but he's just smart.
Alex Palou, the champion.
Alex Palou, precise. Always seems under control.
He slides right across Pato O'Ward.
Very well rounded.
Alex has a good mix of everything. He's very good at driving a car in low grip situations. Good finesse.
You don't see him crash very often.
What he's especially good at is to drive fast without being hard on the material.
You know when you're racing Alex, it's going to be a fair fight.
Outside, clear, nice work.
You know you've got to be on your game because he pounces, you know, if you make a mistake, and he never lets up.
I mean, I agree with everything that said. Everyone said something a little bit different, and that just explains, I think Scott said it best, he's such an all-round driver. He does everything well.
And that's why the off-track battle for Alex Palou's services has been so fierce between the McLaren and the Ganassi team. There's been lawsuits, there's been threats, all kinds of drama to own this kid's future, Kevin. He is that good.
Let's talk Firestone Tires in what is a very unique weekend here with 9 hours of testing and then a race event. Corey Williams is one of the Firestone engineers. So how is this different from a normal weekend?
Like you mentioned, with the kind of the condensed weekend and multiple races too, so we brought a primary tire, typical road course construction, a little bit softer compound, but you'll notice too that we don't have the alternate tire this weekend as well. So
let's get into what we're going to see in this 20-lap 2-segment feature coming up. And there's been a theory been floating around. If you're starting in the back, there's going to be a caution. Could you just ride around 10 seconds off the pace, save tire life? What would that give you in the second half of the race? Could you be significantly better?
Well, that's the difficult part with being a design engineer for tires, right? There's always trade-offs. So you have compound that we brought here, a little bit softer, provide more grip, but you can have a little bit higher rate of wear. But what we've seen so far out this weekend, good performance, good wear rate. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do.
Hey guys, there's definitely strategy involved. So if you're not starting up front, you might see some people hold back in this feature to see if they have better Firestones in the second half, Lee.
It's going to be a main event with a lot of money on the line in two halves and a race of two very different halves. And again, there will be a 10-minute break in between in this 20-lap main event, the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to see what it's going to be like as we're just getting ready to hand back over to Tom Gatemore as NBC go to an ad break. So we're just saying a bit of a fuel-saving mode at the moment. So from Heat 1, this is how the grid's going to line up. Never mind, here's Tom Gatemore.
$1 Million Challenge so far, the first non-championship NTT IndyCar Series race since 2008. The total purse here, 1.7 million, the largest non-Indy 500 purse for an IndyCar Series event in over 2 decades. Now, if you know your IndyCar, there have been 10 IndyCar Series exhibition races held since 1946, including the Marlboro Challenge All-Star race, which was held by CART from 1987 to 1992. Now, me personally, I'm a fan of innovation and new ways of thinking because we're on British shores here. I'm going to use a cricket comparison. If you look at what cricket have done from the test match format to the T20 format, there's space for new ways of thinking in motorsport. Change is not something we as human beings readily adopt easily. Therefore, we need to have an open mind here. And what we've seen with the two heats and what's to come so far has been pretty innovative. It's interesting. There's some big names that have missed out, and there's some real challenges now for the teams and drivers. You see Chip Ganassi on the right-hand side there with his young charger, Alex Palou. They're just going through some data. He's, for me, the man to beat, and I'm not just going on what we've seen just there in the heat. If you look at the test day yesterday, the 9 hours of running that they had, he was fastest in 2 of the longer sessions. And, you know, Alex Palou and Chip Ganassi have a really good understanding to this 2023 tyre that we're on for this weekend's exhibition race. No points on offer. Some of you have got in touch and have been asking that question. You can get in touch on X at Tom Gaymore, Gaymor. Use the Sky IndyCar hashtag. Any questions that you've got, because this is new. This is new to me. This is new to all of us. So anything that you want answered or any uncertainties, do tweet in, as we see Colton Herta and his dad Brian Herta on the right-hand side of your screen. The Andretti powerhouse. Well, it's not been a good day in the office for the Andretti Chargers, but Colton Herta does make his way through to the main event. What can he do? He'll be right at the back.
You're watching NBC's coverage of INDYCAR, brought to you by Hy-Vee. This racing season, help Hy-Vee reach its goal of 100 million meals by visiting Hy-Vee.com. NTT, official sponsor and technology partner of the NTT INDYCAR Series. And by Code 3 Associates, proud partner of Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. When disaster strikes animals, Code 3 answers the call. So, who's going to win this money? It's down to a 20-lap, two-part race with a brief halftime break and powered by NTT. Here are the picks. It's going to be interesting.
It certainly is. I mean, you see the picks. Palou is an easy one to grab, but I like Felix Rosenqvist because I feel like Rosenqvist is really finding a whole second berth of his career here. On pole for his heat race, he held off the hard-charging Scott McLaughlin there to take the win, and I think he'll be aggressive. I think he'll be elbows out, and he knows he has to get it done early, because if he lets Palou get to the front, I think Palou's going to check out.
Look, the computer picks Palou. NTT has picked Palou. The intelligence, the logistics, the data picks Palou.
Oh, easy up, easy
I look
up.
at how he controlled that second heat, how well he took care of those Firestones. We've talked about this ad nauseum over the weekend. It's going to be the key, and I just think your guy, the surgeon, is going to be so good at taking care of those tires.
And very quickly, I went for McLaughlin because I like the way he finished that opening heat. He really closed in on Felix Rosenqvist and looked stronger as the race went on, but we've got to go twice the distance, of course. As we join Marty Snyder. What you got, Marty?
So, Lee, we're talking about all this tire conservation here and what you can do in these first 10 laps. There's a lot of conversation, as Kevin mentioned a moment ago, in the first 10 laps, taking your time, saving your Firestones, right? So I have two different blocks of cheese here. I thought, what's the simplest way we can explain this? So this is my new set of Firestones, and I'm going to be up front, and I'm going to run really hard, and I'm going to take a lot off my tires because the surface here at Thermal, with all this desert sand and the wind, it's very tough. And that's what my tires look like when I run hard for 10 laps. So let's take it easy if I'm starting in the back like Colton Herta, and let's go easy in those first 10 laps or so. I can even run 10 seconds off the pace and not go down a lap. And then I'm starting the second half, the final 10 laps, and racing for $500,000 on tires that look like that. So Hinch, do you want to start the second half on tires that look like this when you've taken it easy for the first 10 laps, or tires that look like that when you run as hard as you can for those first 10 laps?
I'm going for that fine grade, you know, that light grading on that cheese. But no, you're absolutely right, Marty. The idea of taking care of those tires, if you're at the back of the grid anyway, for that first 10-lap segment, that's something that's floating around the paddock. People are really considering this.
Listen, I don't care what my tires look like. I want to get to the front, and I want to stay there and own that position. And I think if I get there, I am going to do anything and everything to get the cash at the end of that 20 laps.
But you've seen how intense this is. There may not be any championship points, but there's a lot of money, a lot of pride. They want to win it. It's going to be a classic final coming up.
Really is going to be one to watch here while we just wait for Tom Gamemore to come in as well and fill over the blanks. We're saving our voices because the team have done an amazing job this weekend. We've done 33 broadcasts. This is broadcast number 32. We've got 33 coming up later. That's going to be the NASCAR Cup Series race. So we're saving our voices and letting NBC take some of it. Jackson's going to be trackside for the rest of the race. He's just charging up. Let's hand back over to Tom Gamemore.
Drivers now who make up the grid for the $1 Million Challenge, and the one that we will all be watching is, of course, Alex Palou. That's Linus Lundqvist, who we see there on the onboard, Alex Palou will line up alongside Felix Rosenqvist. 2 Hondas on the front row. Look at Marcus Armstrong there on the second row alongside Scotty Mack. 2 New Zealanders there. Then it's Graham Rahal and Joseph Newgarden. Lots of experience on the third row. Linus Lundqvist, Christian Lundgaard. Well, they line up there ahead of Pietro Fittipaldi, Augustine Canapino. Big shout out to the Argentinian doing well. And then Alexander Rossi and Colton Herta, the former teammate at Andretti at the back of the grid. Now, if you're wondering what happens next, it's going to be a 10-lap 20 laps split into 2 10-lap segments. So we have a half time, if you like. That 10-minute half-time break after lap 10 allows us to refuel the cars, adjust front and rear wings, wickers, tyre pressures. The drivers can have a drink, that kind of stuff. But you can't change tyres. Now, 1 or 2 skeptics have been looking at the tyre degradation and saying, well, why don't you just run off the pace in the first 10 laps, save your tyres, and then in the second 10-lap segment, doesn't matter where you start, you're going to see so much drop-off, so much degradation, that actually if you've got fresher rubber, you're going to be able to come through and take that all-important $500,000. Well, IndyCar have the rule of running around 105% off of the race leader's pace, so I'm sure, and that's not just discretionary, so I'm sure IndyCar are wise to what some of the teams and drivers might be looking at. That said, in the heats, we've seen track position is really important, so could you sit back in the first segment of this 20-lap race? I don't know if you can. So there's a few unknowns, and as we know, with new formats, new events, new ways of thinking, tactics, strategy, that kind of stuff, people like to try different things. Well, what are we going to see when the green flag drops?
Let's send it back over then to NBC as everyone's having a little look at
Nestled
the car.
amidst the arid landscape of Southern California's Coachella Valley, the Thermal Club is a contemporary oasis for high-end motorsports enthusiasts seeking the ultimate adrenaline rush. And it offers a massively rich payday for IndyCar teams on the hunt for some offbeat fun in the sun. The $1 million challenge will offer the most lucrative purse outside of the Indy 500. And in a nod to the all-star events in other sports, IndyCar is pulling out all the stops to showcase its drivers and teams. Caution laps won't count. Push to pass is plentiful. It's a new twist on the region's illustrious racing history. From Long Beach to Riverside to a high-stakes duel in the desert.
Yes, it's IndyCar's turn to enjoy an all-star race format here in the California desert, and reminding you of what is at stake and how this is going to play out. The main event, the race for the money, it's over 20 laps divided into 2 segments. There'll be a 10-minute half-time break. And this is going to be interesting, and it's going to be 2 halves with 2 very different stories to tell when we line up those 12 cars for the money. And the 12 cars, yes, coming down from 27 cars who started the heats down to 12, and the 2 respective heat winners, Alex Palou and Felix Rosenqvist. Now, if you didn't hear Hinch bring this up before, the reason why Palou starts on the pole, because he won his heat, and he was the fastest of the 2 best qualifiers.
How about row 4 there? Lundqvist, the rookie, Pietro Fittipaldi with just a handful of IndyCar starts. That's some youth and inexperience right in the middle of the pack, but they will be aggressive because $500,000 is a big deal for a young driver.
And this is a big deal to have a non-points race in the NTT IndyCar Series. It hasn't happened since 2008 at Service Paradise in Australia. T-Bell was in that one. Hinch, you've never done one of these non-championship points races, but it has a really special and exciting feel about it.
It does. It's still something drivers want to win. You know, I would have loved the chance to have been part of something like this where there isn't the same kind of pressure, the same kind of consequences maybe of a mistake. You can really just push flat out. And I also love that IndyCar has taken the opportunity here to try new things. Push to pass in qualifying, push to pass active as soon as the green flag drops. A couple of these things that, you know, maybe end up in the full race weekends one day.
Townsend lives here in the state of California, and your state has done a really nice job at hosting this, and so too, again, we say thank you to the members here at the Thermal Club. For now, we join Kevin Lee. Kev?
Barry Wanzer is the strategist, one of the team managers for Chip Ganassi Racing with Alex Palou. I think your driver is maybe as good or better than anybody managing tires. What do you have for this unique format?
Yeah, it's going to be an advantage to certainly take care of the tires. We need to get through the start. We definitely saw a lot of high deg on the tires in that first the heat race, so it's going to be important to manage the tires. Then we're going to add the top back off for the fuel for the restart, so it's going to be quite a bit more weight added back to the car on the used tires for the last 10 laps. So the tires are it's what the race is about right now. It's getting the clean start and then taking care of the tires because it's going to be big.
Marty, that's the question. Can anybody catch Alex Palou?
Colton Herta had some damage in heat number 1. Rob Edwards, what was the damage, and were you able to get it all fixed before this final dash for the cash?
Yeah, so front wing was a little damaged. We were down on COP in that first heat because of that, and then a little bit of side pod damage from some wheel to wheel. So yeah, changed the front wing and taped up the side pod, and because we were starting at the back of our heat, no harm, no foul, and hopefully that'll put us in better shape for the final.
And Lee, Rob mentioned it there. They will start last in this. I asked him if he will play the strategy that we've all been talking about. He said, quote, "I promise we're going to put on a good show. This is going to be fun to watch."
Oh, how is it going to play out? How hard will these drivers go in that first half? How much will they save in the first half of this race in the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge on a beautiful California morning? It's going to be awesome. So for the race fans who are here at the venue, and for those of you watching here on NBC Sports, time for the command for this $1 Million Challenge. Please welcome the Grand Marshal, Riverside County 4th District Supervisor, Manny Perez.
Drivers, start your engines.
Well, I could have been a bit more, you know. Do you want me to do it? Drivers, start your engines!
I can do that better, Josh. Drivers, start your engines. How's that?
And I can do even better than that.
Go on.
Drivers, start your engine.
I mean, Omi's here. Do you want to have a go, Omi? Unbelievable. Fantastic stuff. Away we go then on the parade lap. I mean, they could have given it some welly. They really could have. I mean, that was one of the most meh ever. Right, let's get ready to go. Rocking and rolling as the cars hit the pits. Let's check it.
At least a couple other cars.
Just T1, by the way, Omi says.
Damage to the 45 of Christian Lundgaard as well. You see the onboard here from Colton Herta. Just a traffic jam. Look at power. How good was this to avoid any contact?
And Scott Dixon was penalised for that. Romain Grosjean and VK out immediately. The race winner was Felix Rosenquist over Scott McLaughlin to Heat 2 if you didn't catch the action.
All Palou from the go. We saw some teammate action. Alex Rossi here making moves to get into that transfer spot, but it was all the Ganassi cars up front.
Yeah, and I think this number 10 of Alex Palou, he's got the technique, he's got the team to win. The question is, will he have the good fortune on the opening lap? Can he stay out of trouble? You can't control what happens behind you, but if somebody gets next to Palou, how does he play it too wide around these corners that can be super slippery offline?
And he's got to remember that the other drivers also aren't thinking a long-term race. Hey, we can get him in the pit stops. You have to go for it.
Time now for the Honda track preview to take a closer look at this 3-mile Thermal Club track that is truly unique.
Oh yeah, nestled into the Coachella area here. Thermal is something you've just never seen before. A private motorsports country club, private pavement they like to say here. Down here in turns 2 and 3, tough to pass. You can make a big mistake in many places, James.
You sure can. We've seen drivers be caught out all over this racetrack, especially late in a tire run. This turn 8 section caught out a few of them. But this section here coming up, turns 10 to 13, the most fun area of the racetrack to drive an IndyCar.
If this place has a spa, tennis courts, swimming pools, a members club, 5-star dining, Golf has Augusta, racing has thermal.
It certainly does. And Hinshin, I believe you've sampled it all.
Indeed I have, and I'm not apologetic. I love it here.
See this section here? This is one of the most exhilarating parts of the track. It's through turn.
Yeah, it really is. It's in the back half. Right, Jackson's back out there. Jackson, what are you hearing?
The sound of V6 turbos and the slight gust of wind managing to now blow like almost completely the opposite direction.
Changes again and again.
And also hearing the most meh command ever.
Oh, that was boring as hell. Is that one to go?
Who was that? I didn't hear it. Who was on it?
I don't know. It was the boss of the thermal club. He just said, "Drivers, start your engines." So I was like, right, we can do better than that.
Was it Don Kuzik?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was the most boring command ever given. I mean,
at least it wasn't. At least it wasn't Tim Apple with the flag at Coda. Let's say that.
It looked like he had a stroke halfway through it, didn't he? It's like, waving the flag. For those of you listening on USRN, welcome to what is going to be a 20-lap race with a 10-minute break in between with a red flag period. This is the Thermal Club $1 million challenge. And we're getting ready on the one-to-go line, and they're already in the backstretch. Let's go round the room, Adam, starting with you. Who's going to get the check for $1 million?
I'm going with the Kiwi, who is known for winning some big events. He finished second in heat race number 1. I'm going with the man, Scotty McLaughlin, to take home $1 million.
JT, what about you?
Well, my pickle winner has already gone straight out the window of Dixon. So I am going to say that it's going to be a Chip Ganassi 1-2 like it was in Heat 2, because they were dominant in Heat 2. But then again, it's Thermal Club. Anything can happen, it looks like.
Yeah, Jackson, who are you going for? Oh, might have lost him.
My mind is telling me a lot of different people. I don't like the boring, so let's go with Alexander Rossi making something magic happen here.
It's just starting
as the cars. Go.
Palou on pole from Rosenquist and Armstrong McLaughlin, Rahal Newgarden, Lundqvist Fittipaldi, Canapino Rossi, the top 10, Lundgaard and Herter. That's the 12. Here we go then, folks. It's the Thermal Club. It's the final race. 20 laps. We're coming to the green flag. A split of 10. They're 2x2. Jackson's trackside as we come for the green flag, and we will go racing.
Will we see the same level of chaos as last time? And who's going to win $500,000? Let's find out, and let's go racing at Thermal Club. Green flag in the air as they already start spreading out. Eyes on Scott McLaughlin to the high side. He's going to try and make a move around. Felix Rosenquist up to the front. Way deep in the back there as Fittipaldi tries to make something happen. Nothing there quite yet. Still full contact as Rahal spits out a little bit of dust. Still single file as we go into turn number 3.
Great stuff as we see Scotty Mack tried that outside line through turn 1, hasn't worked out, and thankfully they all made it through turn 1 safely. One of the McLarens though further back, Josh T were having a bit of problems, but still up to second position goes Rosenquist. McLaughlin takes second away, so Rosenquist's going to have to fight back on that one.
Yeah, absolutely, as we have Alex Palou still out in front. Fittipaldi side by side with Canapino further back.
Looks to be okay.
Early problems here for Colton Herta, guys. Yeah. He's almost already 10 car lengths back from the majority of the field here as Tom Blomqvist has been thrown to the wolves. They're trying to find a way to work around him.
Now, is this going to be what we heard from Kevin Lee about how they're going to just sit back, see what the tyre life's going to be, and then in the second phase of the race, put pedal to the metal? So, in the first 10 laps, Adam, are we going to see drivers slow and then gear up for the second start when it all closes up again?
I do believe yeah, I think that's what we're going to see. I think everyone's going to take it easy, get to the halftime break, and fix the adjustments that they need to, and then come back for the last 10 laps and go for broke.
And then a reminder here, Adam and gang, we're only allowed to do this whole race on one set of tires, and fuel itself can last 19. These guys have talked about how tire wear has been an issue, as in turn one we're watching a little bit of a look to the inside there from the green and black machine of Marcus Armstrong. Doesn't make a move on Rosenquist. He holds on to third. They're definitely getting their elbows out here. They're looking for moves. Still nothing quite yet here, Josh.
And for now, we see with Colton Herter, he's moving further back in the field, just making sure everything is okay. And he's running now a total of 13 seconds back out there. But leading this race is Alex Palou for $1 million. Scott McLaughlin is second. Felix Rosenquist third. Marcus Armstrong then goes in fourth position. After that, we get Newgarden complete in the top five. Lundqvist, Ray Hall, Fittipaldi, Lundgaard, Rossi, Canapino, Herter, and as I said, Herter down in the back positions. And Josh T. Herter's just going to keep it calm and then just go for hell broker later on. Smart decision, so maybe Palou has put out a 1.5 second gap, might not win this race when we come to the restart for stage 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it calm in, well, effectively stage 1. Keep it calm there, and then go absolutely chaotic in stage 2 and get the good start, because a red flag in the middle brings it all together.
So, Jackson, what are you seeing down there as the sun begins to hit everybody? How's it, the heat over there? Is it okay?
Heat not too bad here. Just a bit of a lock up there from Pietro.
Yeah.
Paldi, he'll hold position. Would have at this point would be the wind, because it can pick up, it can go any direction, and regardless of direction, it's going to get dust on this track, which will, of course, loosen up this slightly. Couple more looks for movement here into turn 1, but I think our theories are correct here. We're really holding back here and just getting into the groove for this first half of the $1 Million Challenge.
So back we come then in towards the first two corners, as Jackson was saying. Palou leading by 1.5 seconds. We're riding on board with, I want to say, one of the Hy-Vee cars. So this is going to be Lundgaard coming in. But we've got 3 Ray Hall, Edelman, Lanigan Racings. They're the only squad to get all their cars into the final here for the $1 Million Challenge. Nobody other team have managed it. So well done to RLL. Who got it through. And Adam, this is a true testament to their teamwork, and now they're going to work together. They've assured themselves at least $23,000.
Yeah, what a start for RLL here at Thermal Club. As the only, like you mentioned, Josh, the only team to get all 3 cars. That's, to me, that's, you know, you got all 3 cars in over the top teams. That's impressive.
Not got it, P9.
It's not Penske, it's not Chip Ganassi, it's not even Andretti Autosport, who we would imagine of the big 3 to make it through. I don't think RLL making all their cars to the main was on anybody's being hard.
Oh, we might have lost Jackson there, trackside, with a bit of connection issue.
The success last year, we're seeing that these are...
Jackson, if you can hear us, you're breaking up a little bit on the Wi-Fi.
Still with you guys?
Yeah, now you are. Yeah, you're back with us. Just a signal breakup.
Battery is still low here, so if I cut out completely, you will know why. Looking further back on the field here, Rossi is now... The whole back 3 here have kind of backed out of it and gotten into the groove. Canapino also kind of sitting pretty alongside Herta. Herta closed that gap, but it's looking like even further up front here, we're just getting an idea for tire wear, getting an idea for how these cars are interacting in dirty air.
On board again now with McLaughlin, I want to say. I'm not entirely sure, because I see code 3 on the leather, but do you know, this is what really annoys me. We've got the hero screen. They could put the names of the drivers on board, because it's really hard to tell who's who. Josh T, do you have any idea who we're looking at right now? Because I want to say it could be on board with Lundgaard in the 45.
It's Ray Hall.
Right, it's Ray Hall. Get the names on the aero screen. All I ask. Stop with the stupid advertising for products where we don't even know. It's really annoying me. Now we get the graphic coming up from NBC. So useless. So on board with Graham Ray Hall. Finally, right. I want honestly, NASCAR's just as bad, but they've got numbers on the side. We can see who they are, but half the time it goes black, and we've got to get that going later as well. That's going to be a fun 4 hours as well if we have problems with it. We see now Herta, and he is dropping his 12th position at the moment. He's coasting.
Comfy lead right now for Alex. Low, almost 2 seconds ahead of McLaughlin. This whole top 5 have kind of spread within a car length of each other as everyone's kind of just running their own race for now.
So Herta sliding it in. He's in 12th place. He's about 11 seconds behind that of Alex Palou. So he's keeping in touch in distance, but it's a long lap here. He's at turns 15, 16, and Palou's at turn 3, 9 to 4 and 5. So yeah, 10 corners behind effectively is going to be the situation. But he's only got 5 more laps until the red flag comes out and the gap in the stage break would come into play. So he's just got to keep it nice and calm. And the race now, I hate to use the quiet word because Josh T will jump up and punch his camera, but it is a bit quiet out here. They need to close up. They're all saving their tyres ready for the final 10. And there you go, look, he's punched the camera.
It has actually unplugged.
Oh, okay.
Let's turn that one on so you can actually see me. There you go.
Oh, where's
that
it
works.
gone? Where's it gone? You've just gone dark.
It's back.
Well, that's live camera work for you. Josh T's destructive personality as well.
Oh my days.
Right, let's fade that to camera when we get it sorted. There we go.
There you go. I was only meant to push it, not take it off the TV.
Oh well, that's how it works. How are we still on lap 5? It's been going on for ages. Now lap 6. Unbelievable how long this one's taking, actually. Jackson, do they look slower to you? Are they slower out there? Longard makes a move on Fittipaldi. Might have lost Jackson there.
I think there's a bit of lag.
There is a bit of lag, yeah. His battery was also going, he said, so I think he might be juicing it up ready for the second stage. That kind of makes sense. So Palou with McLaughlin, Rosenquist, Armstrong in there, Newgarden as well. And Herta down in 12th position. So Josh, I don't know, Heat 2 was really, really, really good. This final race, the first part of it, hasn't really been exciting. And Herta's using all his push to pass to try and keep up with the guys so that he doesn't lose tyres.
That's a bit stupid.
Yeah. So he's going to rely on tyres.
Because it's going to be red flag at the end of this.
He is going to rely on tyres and tyres alone, Adam. I don't think that's going to be good enough.
Rest in peace, Jackson's laptop.
I thought it had died. He'll charge it. He's got about 15 minutes, so he's got time. Might charge him a bit. But yeah, Adam, this is a bit bizarre from Herta.
It is. You're going to rely on You're going to rely on tires to get you to the rest of the way. That ain't gonna be easy since you can't during the halftime break you can't change you're not allowed to change tires, so yeah, should be interesting for Colton Herta in the second half here at Thermal Club.
So Palou, McLaughlin, Rosenquist, Armstrong, Newgarden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the running order if you're listening with us on USON and don't have TV pictures. As McLaughlin holds it on for second position. He's now just going to be in tyre-saving mode because in 3 laps the red flag will come out for the end of the break. I don't know if they'll red flag or checkered it. I don't know what they're going to do here because it's not end of the race and this is a $1 million challenge race. And yeah, I don't think this is suitable for a full Grand Prix around IndyCar circuit. This is very much an exhibition race, I think. Exhibition. I don't think we're going to be here for actual races because I think the drivers might complain a little bit. Great test circuit. Interesting layout for a one-off $1 million challenge, but for a full-on point-scoring event, no. It's too small of an event. And again, Detroit. I don't know. I'd rather have an oval. I'm sorry, I would. I'd rather have another oval. Phoenix, probably. I liked Phoenix. That was quite a good when we went there.
Motor Club Speedway. I wish it was still around.
Yeah. I'll go there. I'll go there.
Thank you.
I'll even take Daytona. Daytona and INDYCAR would be very fun. 31-degree banking. Whew. Yes, please. Just for a fact-finding mission there, Indianapolis is 9-degree banking. And look at this, what we have there. Daytona's 31. So, yeah, that'll be insane. I'd like it, though, a little race at Daytona. Make it non-championship, then no one's going to get hurt. And make it like a 300-mile race or something like that. Or 250s on either day, I don't know. Make it, people can get money for it, but Josh T. Hurt has dropped now 57 seconds behind Palou.
Yeah, just absolutely in saving tyres mode as you've got Fittipaldi as well.
He's doing it too.
Back as well.
And Curtis passed Fittipaldi. And that was
no problem with Fittipaldi.
Oh, I hope not. I hope it's just tyre saving. Yeah, everyone's put. Well, actually, Fittipaldi's very, very slow. I wonder if he's lost a lot of time. I reckon Fittipaldi's either saving tyres or he's saving fuel or he's got a bigger problem than we think. We'll keep an eye on that.
We jump on board with Alexander Rossi.
Where is he? Down turn 3 and 4. Just cuts out of it.
And maybe try to get some position at the end. Rossi was just told, all right, next lap, let's do around 106, 107. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
Right, so they do want to have a go here now. So they are fuel saving and tyre saving. So Rossi, when P9 wants to bring it up, look at that. They're all lifting and coasting. And it's getting a bit embarrassing now how much the gap is because we've nearly got lapped traffic at Thermal Club. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll admit it. This hasn't worked. This has not worked. We've got drivers lifting and coasting. This isn't a race or an exhibition. This is, okay, let's just make it to the end. This hasn't worked. It's a failure, in my opinion. And we could have gone to Road Atlanta. Just saying.
What? I'd do Road Atlanta. Oh, you know the Trans Am series that rode Atlanta this weekend.
Is that this weekend?
And
right.
I think Adam Andretti won a race there in either the main Trans Am class or the DA2 class.
Fantastic. I think that's why Road Atlanta was said about that's where we could go for INDYCAR because I think they were going to go with the Trans as a dual up race. So we could have been at Road Atlanta. Instead, we've got this. I would have rather gone to Road Atlanta personally. It's a better track. But I don't know. Josh T, this is reminding me a bit of Sebring. Oh, no, not Sebring. Sonoma.
Yeah.
I knew you were thinking of the one I knew about. It's a good racetrack, but it's a boring race. Oh, let's just get the red flag. So, when's the red flag coming out? End of lap 10 or on lap 10? That's the question. Because, I don't know, yellows don't count, remember. End of lap 10. That's when the red flag's coming out. Or the caution, whatever it's going to be to suspend the race, we'll find out. But only 12 cars out there. Yeah, only 12 cars out there, by the way, and we've got lapped traffic. Because they're all fuel saving and tyre saving. One to go before the caution. It's lap 10 of 20. And Rossi's passed Rahal. Rossi's up to 8th position. So he's made that up. And 8th place, only 6th to 27, only gets you $23,000, remember? So Grosjean has left here with something of $23,000. That's it. So, Segal, Ferrucci, Power, Kirkwood, Robb, Dixon, VK, Grosjean, O'Ward, Blomqvist, Eilert, Rasmussen, Simpson, Ericsson and Braun, they have all got $23,000 for taking part in the $1 million challenge. Now, and then, of course, it's $1 million for winner, or 500, and then it's all split up. for the
I
prize.
have actually got the full rundown somewhere. I think I
Yeah, he
sent
sent
it
me,
to you.
yeah. Because it's like $1
Yeah.
million, but then it's spread out between, I think, charities now, because they should have done it between thingies. Oh, and IndyCar's live timing decided to give up on us. Right,
I
as
can
we come
go
to break.
through it in the break if you want, Josh.
Yep, and Adam's got some stories as well to tell us in the
Rahul's
break.
pit.
Rahul's
Rahul
out.
in the pit.
Rahul's out. He's got a problem. So Rahul will go a lap down unless he thinks that this is the stage break, and it's clearly not. Now it's going to be the stage break. Palou will exit. Winner of Heat 2. He'll win the first half of this one. Across the line we go. And the checkered will be ready. Palou takes the first half of this stage and crosses the line. End of stage 1 in the final race, and Alex Palou will lead us into it as we see what's happening now. Is it red flag? Is it caution? What's going on?
They've got no flag yet, so I bet once everyone crosses the line, it'll go red.
I've not got a clue. How are they handling this then? Because they're 99 seconds back, which means Palou's going to use a lap of fuel.
They've all dropped. Yeah, because look, there's Fittipaldi, there's Palou.
So this is going to be like the quickest red flag in history. What's going on here? But they've all dropped pace. But the race is still on. What?
Yeah, they've all dropped pace because they know it's going to be a stage break now.
But if I was McLaughlin, I'd go for the move because we're still green. And Palou's lifted off. And Fittipaldi is going to be the last one to do it. And he's 102 seconds back. So, this is... just throw the red flag out now. Come on. Because they're seriously going to wait for Fittipaldi. That means Palou's got to do another lap. They'll get to refuel, but this is ridiculous. What on earth is this going on? What is going on? Where's Palou? Has he lifted off? There's Palou. And McLaughlin's in... Why? If I was McLaughlin, I'd go for it. We're still green. We're still green. Go for the move. Do it. Use a bit of tyres. Use a bit of fuel. Go for it. You've got room. Well, this is bizarre. We've got... Well... We're going to complete a lap here. Another full lap. And we've got... He's not crossed the line yet. Fittipaldi's not crossed the line yet. Red flag. They've stopped it. They've red flagged it now. Well, that was ridiculous.
Fittipaldi's coming towards the line now.
And he crosses it, and the red flag comes out. For God's sake.
But look, they're coming to do another lap.
They've missed the pit entry. They've missed the pit entry line. Well, what's that? Well, that's ridiculous. Now they come in through an emergency gate. End of the first stage, then. Palou, McLaughlin, Rosenquist, the top 3. Let's hand you over to Tom Gaymore.
Just read a rather amusing tweet from Emily saying, come on, do something. I think that sums up that first sector of the 20-lap main event. Somewhat scratching my head here as we ride on board with Colton Herta. Bit of a cheese sandwich, but we've got the second half to come. And now the teams and the drivers will have to go flat out from the green flag to the checkered flag because there's $500,000 on the line and it's now or never. So the strategy that we've sort of painfully see play out in that first sector, well, that's going to have to come to fruition now. Who has saved enough of their Firestone rubber in order to attack in this second 10-lap sequence? Well, the teams can refuel. They'll make a few adjustments in terms of tyre pressures and, well, I don't think a handful of the drivers were going quick enough to find out what the balance was like on their car, so I don't think they'll be making too many wing changes or wicker changes, but the drivers will be getting their head in the game now, and the strategists and the engineers will be talking to their drivers as to what is expected of them. Obviously, the RLL cars had a bit of a difficult first sector to that main event. Fittipaldi with fuel issues, and of course, we saw Graham Rahal there with a throttle map issue, I would have thought. Fly-by-wire throttle on these cars. And the Hy-Vee cars are back. Fittipaldi just pulling into his pit box. So, yeah, quite a few of you getting in touch. You can get in touch at Tom Gaymore, Gaymor. Use the hashtag SkyIndyCar. Well, there's going to be, of course, quite a lot of feedback regarding what we could do differently with all of these new and innovation. There'll be plenty of feedback regarding little nuances that could be amended and changed if we come back to a similar event next year. Well, there's Scotty Matt, the 33s. He's been quite confident this week in terms of saying, well, listen, I'm going to put it all on the line to win this money. So keep an eye out on Scotty Mack, if no one else.
Service brings their pit crew to you with expert technicians performing over 200 repair and maintenance.
Okay, right, let's have a bit of a run-up, and we'll start with Josh T. What's the prize then, as we're going to get ready for the second stage coming up?
Okay, so first place gets $500,000, second place gets $350,000, third $250,000, fourth $100,000, fifth $50,000, and 6th to 27th gets $23,000 each, for a total of 1.756 million. So even though it's called the 1 million challenge, you could call it the Thermal Club $1.756 million challenge.
Yep, so
and there's a list of what's allowed.
It's very different, isn't it, as well? But we've got no stranger to events here that have been done differently. And one man who knows quite a lot about them is Adam Lemridge. And Adam, we heard earlier on Tom Gaymore talk about different styles of events we've had here in the past. You've experienced some of them as well. Talk us through the history of non-championship races with IndyCars.
Sure will, Josh. Well, back in the day, there was a race who was called, there was an all-star race in the old kart series. It was called the Marlboro Challenge, and the selection criteria was as follows. All race winners and pole position winners since the previous year's Marlboro Challenge, the previous year's season champion, and the defending Indianapolis 500 winner. Where it took place, it took place among 3 different locations. The first one was on the straight circuit at Miami Park in beautiful Miami, Florida from 1987 to 1988. And then 89 to 92 it alternated between Laguna Seca Raceway and Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania. The winners of these events were as follows. In 1987, it was Bobby Rahal, driving for True Sports. 1988, it was Michael Andretti, driving for Craco Racing. 1989, Al Unser Jr. for Gallus Racing. 1990, Rick Mears, who drove for Penske Racing. 91 was the only repeat winner, as Michael Andretti won for Newman Haas Racing. And in 1992, the final one took place at Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania. It was Emerson Fittipaldi driving for Penske Racing. So, yeah, these all-star events are not new to IndyCar, and so I enjoyed them. I enjoyed watching them back in the day. And if you're listening on USRN, you can go to YouTube and go watch all these all-star races, and it was quite an interesting field, you know, back in the day. So that is the history of all-star races for the old kart series, now what we know as the NTT IndyCar series. So there's your history lesson for the day.
And let's hope we have a few better ones to end this one out. Thank you very much, Adam, on that wonderful lesson. And we will now head it back over to NBC as we get ready for the next break. And Jackson's going to charge his laptop and get back to us soon.
Well, Will, thanks so much for sparing us some of your time. You'll be cheering on your Team Penske teammates. There he is, Will Power, a man with fast hands and fast feet. No superstition, but he can play the beat to the Stevie Wonder Classic. That's what Will did the other night at the draw party. He'll be a spectator just like us, watching this Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge That's coming up.
Let's hand it back to Tom.
Yeah, lots of feedback on X. Thanks for those of you tweeting in. I think the big question mark here is the fact that the tyre won't do the 20 laps. It just genuinely won't. When you speak to the drivers and teams up and down pit road after the test, you know, there was real concerns that the tyre would not just drop off. It would literally be on the cords come the end of the 20-lap race, and that's the degradation here at Thermal. And of course, with no pit stops, it makes it very, very difficult. So the engineers have almost outthought the organisers here in terms of the best way to get this done. That's what engineers do, and they do it incredibly efficiently. And that has led to maybe not the most exciting of first halves, but let's look forward to the second half now, because I genuinely think we're going to have a real motor race, albeit a 10-lap dash to the cash. A win it or bin it style event, if you like. And Alex Palou still very much, for me, the driver to to beat. He's very, very good on these 23 tyres, these 2023 tyres. This is the last and only time that we will see these 2023 tyres run on these Indy cars, on this DW12 Dallara chassis, because, of course, we started St. Pete on the 2024 tyre. It's a harder compound, much more durable. That's for the extra weight of the hybrid systems that are coming. And if you're interested in the hybrid systems, you will have followed the story over the winter. Of course, their delivery has been postponed. Only a couple of teams were testing with that hybrid system across the winter months. All of the teams will get a chance to run with it. So the teams like RNL, who haven't had any running at all, they'll all get a chance to run with it next week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course there. So there is progress being made there. The rumours are that we might see that hybrid system come to fruition in and around Mid-Ohio. It's quite strange to deliver that type of...
Just going to interrupt quickly for this fantastic little tweet I found about Formula One, for everybody who likes to know. It's on Twitter at, this is from Matt on Twitter, so at FM1_3316. He says, if I had a nickel for every time George Russell DNF'd when Carlos Sainz won an F1 race, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened 3 times. And it's true. Every time George Russell DNFs in a race, Carlos Sainz wins it. British Grand Prix in 2023. 2022 British Grand Prix. Then the Singapore Grand Prix last year in 2023. And then the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. It makes it 3. So, yeah. Sorry, George, but crash more often. Carlos likes you, and he might take your team seat next year.
Josh,
Yeah.
The 2024 Australian Grand Prix was Carlos Sainz's 1,000th Formula One championship point.
It's written in the stars for him, isn't it, as well? That was fantastic.
And I'm trying to find where you sent, I think it was in comms chat about earlier. Yeah, 2023 Singapore. Sainz wins, Russell crashes on last lap. Next race, Japan. 2024 Australia. Sainz wins, Russell crashes on last lap. Next race, Japan.
It's a weird coincidence, isn't it, that one?
Yes.
Now, you said that this is going to end at 6:30 and we'd have an hour gap before NASCAR. Anyone like to tell me that it's now 6:22 p.m. and we have about an hour gap before NASCAR and we're not anywhere near done?
They've gone off schedule.
They've gone
or
massively.
The schedule has changed.
This delay has been 12 minutes because they decided to muck about.
The TV broadcast is meant to finish at 7.
So it's a half an
They've
hour
changed
gap.
it.
Right. So it's a half an hour gap.
Right. Okay.
Very nice. Well, the running order is going to be, obviously, me and Matt White will be in the box all the time. Stage 1, we've got Josh T. Stage 2, we've got Adam. And then there's a half a gap precisely between you for Stage 3. Let's go back to NBC.
You can be on the beach and skiing on Big Bear Mountain in one day. That's quite an achievement, and that's the sort of terrain and the opportunity that you get down here in California. Coachella not far away as well. We saw just a glimpse of some of the private houses that line this 3.067 mile circuit. There's about 100 private houses around here, and you can well, if you've got a checkbook big enough, you can have a look at more information on the Thermal Club website. It's like the Augusta, if you're into your golf, the Augusta of motorsport venues, because you can just where else in the world can you live around a circuit and walk out onto your balcony and see an international motor race, see a pit road and a paddock like the INDYCAR paddock racing around your back garden. Well, that's the facility, and of course it'll be interesting to see what happens here next year, if anything at all. This, of course, the exhibition race, and a new idea, a new innovation, but one that we're about to see play out. What Sector 2 of this main event gonna deliver?
This summer, the Olympics return to NBC, and it is going to be fantastic in the French capital. There is Victor Montalvo. He's the current best breakdancer in the world, and breakdancing is an addition to the Olympic schedule this year. You'll see Victor and the best breakdancers in the world there, along with Noah Lyles, Sha'Carri Richardson, and all of Team USA's best. It's going to be phenomenal this summer. Not so phenomenal, there are some cars not in this race that thought they would be. Let's get an update as we get ready to go into the second half. Kevin Lee has more.
One is Graham Rahal. We heard about the throttle issues. That can't be fun.
Yeah, it's just stuck throttle. I felt it on lap 3. It was like Barber a few years ago for me, and it progressively got to the point where I was having to clutch it every single brake zone to not go sailing off the end of the straight. So it's just too dangerous, unfortunately. Once you lose 2 laps in this deal, for Code 3 Associates and everybody, it's a bummer, because it's really just, you're in it for the money, right? Unfortunately.
We've got people with fresher Firestones. What do you expect to happen here in 10 laps?
Yeah, this could get interesting. I know the first was kind of a procession, but the reality is that, everybody from me on back was saving huge. So now you've got the mix of guys on a little bit different. Guys up front pushing a little harder than the rest, but everybody's got full fuel. You're going to have more bottoming again. You're going to have more issues. And we know the DEG, the fall off from a 10 or 12 minute cool off here could be massive. So, the heat cycle of these tires, when they get warm, they cool down, they get warm again, it creates a lot more issues. And like I just said, it's all for the money. I mean, and so the reality is, well, you don't want to go collect a bunch of crash damage. You really got nothing to lose here. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens. I wish I was in the race, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens here.
Thanks, Graham. It's time to go, guys.
Yeah, and Adam's got breaking news. Go for it, Adam.
Sure. Pietro Fittipaldi has been disqualified after the team failed to obey IndyCar rules and not fill his car full of fuel. So 12 now becomes 10 for the final lap back.
Now that makes a lot of sense here.
Got the wrong end of the stick
and
there.
That's the 45 of Christian Lundgaard with damage. Okay, so that explains a lot then as to why JT, he was so slow. He wasn't full up with fuel. That was against the regulations. So, yeah, he had to coast. I wonder if Herta might have the same thing. So 2 out already.
Yeah, we'll have to see as we're getting ready. Hopefully it'll be a quick start. Are we going double file or single file for this?
It's a restart, so I'd say it'll be single, won't it? I don't actually know. It's quite weird, this one, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm just writing down the results so I can get that sorted as well. And there's Rob Edwards, the race strategist for Colton Herta. Yellow flags are out. We're waiting on the start, down to the pits.
You saved enough tire. He said, we're all flying blind here. We have no idea what's going to happen. But Colton Herta, Diff, always one of the most exciting drivers in IndyCar. If he has a tire advantage, trust me, he's going to take advantage of it.
Think about.
Jackson's trying to charge his laptop up as well so he can try and get back in towards the end of the stage. And appreciate him, all his work he's done for the Grid Network and here as well. down on the JB Motorsports coverage in qualifying and in the race as well. Appreciate you being trackside. If you're listening to us on USON, stick with us. And if you're listening to us as well on JB Motorsports' YouTube and Twitch, NASCAR is up next as well. Coming from COTA, Matt White alongside us in the comms box. Here we go then. As Adam said, 12 become 10 in a shootout now for the final $1 million challenge is under starters' orders once again. How much tyres have they got left? Are we going to be in for a fool or are we going to be in for a fight? Green flag again here at the Thermal Club. And again, McLaughlin not going for lunge into turn 1. The McLaren's having a bit of a battle further back. Thought Rosenquist might try. Oh, a contact as well. As up the inside, Agustin Canapino trying to get past. And now he loses a place to Christian Lundgaard as well. Bad start there, JT.
Yeah, absolutely. All single file then. No one trying to make a move with 10 laps to go here at the Thermal Club as right at the back, Lundgaard trying to get around, I believe, Herta.
That's how Bowles just said, hey, I only just found this took quite a while after trawling through dozens of Latino streams. Still have no idea why the heck I'm watching on my TV, though. Nothing makes sense today. Hi, Bal. Nice to have you back on the channel. As they come into it. Glad you found us. 2 wide further back as well as Rosenquist. Sorry, that's Rossi and Lundqvist making battles. Canapino and Herta and Lundgaard coming in there as well. Ray Hall and Fittipaldi are out of the race, so they're 2 officially out and have a DNF, so they'll get a red pen mark in a second when I finish with my notes up here in the comments box. But Adam, Herta, save tyres, save fuel. He wants to have another go here. Has he got the pace to charge up the field?
You know, I think it's hard to say. My heart says yes. My head says no. Yes.
Contact!
Ooh,
Rossi hitting the back of Lundqvist as well, and Newgarden's dropped back as well. Armstrong's gone through. Rossi getting ahead of Lundqvist as well, mid-corner, and now he's trying to go right round the outside of Newgarden in towards turn 1. An actual overtake. Can the McLaren pull it off? No, he tries to get the cut back. Newgarden goes wide. Rossi puts power down. Yes, we've actually got an overtake at the Thermal Club. Go on, Alexander Rossi. And he's contact. Once, twice. Off goes Newgarden. Off goes Rossi. Through goes Lundqvist. Through goes Herta. Unbelievable scenes! And Canapino nearly getting involved with Lundqvist and Lundgaard as well. Oh, yes, JT, they've had a move.
Newgarden going for contact with Herta as Rossi has a little look round to the inside. We've got Christian Lundgaard up behind getting involved as well, but is falling back now.
Yep, finally we've actually got some manoeuvres, and here comes Rossi again on the inside of Newgarden, down into the braking zone. At 10-11, can he make through? No, he can't. As they loop round into turn 9.
Hey, Linus Lundqvist could get $50,000 out of this.
He's in P5, which is where he's going to get it. Ironically enough, they've halved it. Let's take a look at it. What do you make of it, JT? There's one, and there's a second tap coming as well.
Yeah, but they both go out wide. Rossi more than Newgarden.
I don't think Newgarden had anywhere to go. Fair racing, Adam, or a bit of a penalty coming the way for both of them?
Fair racing to me. I mean, you know the old saying, guys. Rubbin's racing.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That is fair racing to me. As Newgarden drops it back. Why is Herta down in 12th position on my timing screen? That's not right. Herta's up in 6th now. Maybe it needs it will refresh itself sooner or later. It's only 6:31 here in the UK. It feels later. That's just my body clock going screwed up. Come on, Scotty McDonough. Alex Palou go, yeah. He's going to close in 1.7 seconds. But remember, the tyres are dying off now as well. And they've brimming them again with fuel. But can these tyres make it 20 laps? They're saying it would be scrubbed after 19. We've got 8 to go. And they're running on rims already. And breathe. 2 out already as they come through. It's been a good race. No, I'm not going to lie. Good restart there. It hasn't worked, this little thing. One accident doesn't make it. As up the inside, another little dive bomb. Herta getting through on Lundqvist for 5th. And now $50,000 becomes Herta's.
And just like that, 50,000 becomes 23,000 for Lundqvist, but still battling there as well. Pallot's got a 2-second lead ahead of McLaughlin, then Rosenqvist, Armstrong, Herta the top 5, Lundqvist, Rossi, Newgard and Lundgaard, Canapino top 10, Rahal and Fittipaldi out as we have Rossi trying to get around Lundqvist. Lundqvist gets a little bit of a snap, which allows Rossi to get closer.
DRS, so push to pass activated as he's going to pull through on the inside, let the brakes and makes a move stick as well. Rossi, oh, he's gone wide and through goes Lundqvist again. This is the tyres starting to go off and play a factor as they come across the line once again. So they've got another, they've all got reset to 40 seconds of push to pass, by the way, and Rossi's got 5 seconds left. He's had to use it all in this stint alone. Let's have a look at the Delta screens. Not much change in between them at the moment here at Thermal. But this is, okay, better second half than the first half, I'd say. A lot better.
Which happened in the heat races as well. Better second heat race than the first heat race.
It's weird how it's changing, actually. The final race is 2 parts. It's 40 laps to decide who gets $1 million. Which is around about a normal race distance. They've just split it up into segments. A bit like a NASCAR race, Adam, as well.
Yep, but that reminds me of what they do for NASCAR's All-Star race, you know what I mean?
Yes, Northwestern, yeah. They split it up differently as well down there. The All-Star race coming up in a couple of weeks. Also, just want to remind you that here on USON, we'll have coverage of the Indianapolis 500 again, all the practice sessions, qualifying where we team up with Matthew Owens, and the race itself as well. And just a reminder that the Open Day test is coming up April 10th and April 11th, and we'll be covering that as well if they have cameras again, as we see Herta dive bombing the inside a couple of moments ago there on Linus Lundqvist. So yeah, we'll be covering the Open test in a few weeks' time as well. In fact, I think it's just before Long Beach. So we go testing for the 500 before we even do round 2 of the season. I think that, Josh, that's just crazy to think about it. They've really screwed about the calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got my schedule here, but it doesn't have the Open test on it. Wait, it does have Long Beach on it, though.
So Long Beach is April 21st, if I'm not mistaken. That's round 2. He's desperately reading it.
19th to the 21st.
Yeah, so
might be a good idea if I put them in order so it doesn't go first page to third page, which is August, then back to second page.
Tell you what, I've got a clipboard full of notes, and it's on one side it's full of all the F1 notes from today, and on the other, and then we've got NASCAR on top of it. One side it's got all the MotoGP notes, and then we're about to shove a load of NASCAR notes on it as well for this event coming up today.
That reminds me, I need to spot a guide for NASCAR still.
I have it on my iPad now as well, just in case. However, I'm delighted to say that actually I've got my iPad behaving itself with the driver tracker. Yeah, my iPad is now working with my streaming PC, and we have had no issues today. It has worked finally. It's got itself figured out, and we have driver tracker without a problem. I can do TV pictures now as well, so isn't that great? Unheard of, isn't it?
You didn't jinx yourself. Scott, you didn't jinx yourself, did you? Especially after this, we go straight to NASCAR.
We'll be fine. Even if the Wi-Fi goes off now, we've got next door's Wi-Fi password. They kind of gave it to us, so we can still stream. And Josh T's got streaming platforms now as well, so he's got it all. So
yes, but I don't have NASCAR set up, so.
Well, you've got INDYCAR set up. It's the same software. You just change the layout. It's time to set me on. So. I must get all the OBS things sorted. There's the $1 million prizes, as Josh T pointed out. First is $500,000. Second is $350,000. Third is $250,000. Fourth is $100,000. Fifth is $50,000, and sixth to 27. That gets you $23,000, making $1.7 million in total, and that's why it's called the $1 million challenge.
It might be worth you just setting me up on every single series we've covered, just in case anything goes wrong.
It's not a bad idea, and I'm certainly going to do that. As we come through, Herta again on the attack. 5 laps to go in the Thermal Club. Well, I think we'll be okay to go until 7 o'clock. So we'll just have a quicker run through. My voice, however, I'm going to have a cup of tea. I don't know if I'll have coffee. I think if I have coffee this close to when I want to go to bed, I'm starting to feel tired, so I want to feel tired. So I think a nice decaf cup of tea might work to lubricate the voice. I've lost my pen.
Good stuff.
I was throwing my pen up and down, and I lost it, so I've got it now.
Did you see where my highlighter ended up from yesterday, Josh?
Was it on your bed? I saw the photo. Yeah, I saw the photo. You threw it back. Why did you throw it?
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, look. I have another highlight.
So have I on the comms desk. It's fine. So, Palou won the stage break, remember? So he's gonna get it all. And he would have dominated this with Chip Ganassi. 4 to go. Herta is on the back of Armstrong for 4th position. And this is the difference between $100,000 and $250,000. 150 grand on the offer here. I know which way I want to go. Krabby Patty, give me the money.
Idea to make this race better.
Nuclear bombs.
They half the prize fund. Half of it goes to stage 1, half of it goes to stage 2.
I agree.
How would be good at that? Yeah. Why not?
Oh, that's a late move. He's trying to go on the inside of Armstrong and he took off his front wing. Remember, NASCAR aren't paying for this. You damage your wing, you have to pay.
NASCAR are definitely not paying for
INDYCAR. Yeah. INDYCAR. Yeah, there's a difference here. You crash, you break it, you buy it, basically. There's no insurance on these races because it's non-championships, so they're not covered by the normal rules. So you break it, you buy it, I'm afraid, my friend. Well, where did he finish? Herta finished 6th in Heat 1, and he's going to finish 5th in the final race. So good progression from him going forward. As they go on the attack once more. On board with Herta, down towards turn 1. Can he think about a move on the inside line? There'll be another late lunge. If he does, he gets very, very close to the back of Armstrong. It's it back off under braking. How much longer are these tyres going to last? Bal says they're driving like NASCAR drivers today. That's what you get when you substitute dollars for points, though. And up the inside, $250,000 becomes Colton Herta's. He passes Armstrong for 4th. And Bal says this should have been run before the proper season started, just like how the equally irrelevant NASCAR Clash of the Coliseum started before the regular season begins. Make it better by making a 20-lap race 20 laps and not 2 10-lap ones. I agree. And run it pre-season. And I agree with Josh T's situation as well. Put the money in for some heat races as well. But I suppose everybody today has at least walked away with the 23 grand in their pocket, $23,000. You could buy a couple of used cars for that. At least 4. 4 good, reasonably priced. 23,000. You can do a lot with $23,000. What I wouldn't give for $23,000, I would. Tell you what, get me in a car. I would. Do you know? I would have. Do you know? That's a great idea. Get me in that car. I'll cruise around to the back, and I'll take home $23,000. I'll be fine with that, because that's how much Grosjean and Braun have got, and things like Simpson, Rasmussen, all that lot. Callum Ilot's come in, and he's got $23,000. So yeah, just. Josh T, you live in the UK alongside me. Is there any race events that do this across the country that we just enter and get free money?
I don't think so.
Why are we making racing drivers richer? Just saying. Racing drivers are the most, they're paid more than football stars. In fact, I think football players are ridiculously overpaid. You kick a ball. It's not even proper. You go down every time you cry. I can't say. Racing drivers deserve to be paid more, and even racing drivers are overpaid. Give it to the commentators. They're the one doing the real hard work. How much the voices are blown after this weekend. 33 streams we've done. Over 60 hours of broadcasting. Give us the 23,000. In fact, screw it. Give us the 4 million.
Let's see here. What can I do with $1 million? I don't know. It's called, I could fly down under to Australia. I could go and I could hop on an airplane and come see you guys in the UK. I could go and there's a lot of things I could do with $1 million. And
I hope Jackson gets back in because he's currently with Lundgaard. He's doing an interview with Lundgaard right now. For Grid Network, I presume. So he's hanging out with Christian Lundgaard. Who finished... Where did Lundgaard... hang a minute. Lundgaard's... Where is he? Ninth. Oh, he's in the Lundgaard pits. I see.
White flag in the air.
Well, this has been boring. We were on a run, weren't we? A good run of races. Every race this weekend had been a classic. I suppose we could say it counts because this isn't a race. So, technically, it's just a race for $1 million. So there is a difference there as well. I thought someone came into the commentary box then. What?
So me, yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't log in. I'll slap the call then. Hasn't worked this, but it's been an interesting experiment. The Thermal Club have certainly enjoyed watching cars go round from a TV points perspective. I don't think it really worked. I want to throw out a special thank you to Jackson, because I think without Jackson being in the trackside, this weekend would have been a bit more boring than we would have expected, because it was him being trackside, giving us the information and the atmosphere that I think really energised the broadcast today. So thank you, Jackson, for that. And if he is down at Long Beach, hey, as well. And the goodness sake, we'll get him with a radio mic down there as well. But Alex Palou won Heat 2. He won the first half of this final race, and he's going to come into the last two corners. He came in today already as a two-time champion and an Indy 500. Can he do anything now? Guess what? He is $1 million richer out of the last corner, and the $1 million challenge is won by Alex Palou from Spain. He takes the checkered flag and gets $500. Nice, $500,000. Here he is.
Thank you, boys. That's awesome.
Not exactly like Daytona when they won $1 million, was it? DW over the radio saying, "You just won $1 million." Nope, nothing. Alex Palou, the rich get richer. We've completely wasted your evening, everybody. Do join us for some NASCAR to make up for it, won't you? So who got the money? That's the point. Alex Palou, he gets $500,000. Scott McLaughlin gets $350,000. Felix Rosenquist gets $250,000. Colton Herter does get that $100,000. And then we get Marcus Armstrong. He gets $50,000. And then we get Lundqvist, Rossi, Newgarden, Lundgaard, Canapino, Rahal, and Fittipaldi. They all get $23,000. Add to that Segel, Ferrucci, Power, Kirkwood, Robb, Dixon, VK, Grosjean, Award, Blomqvist, Eilert, Rasmussen, Simpson, Eriksson, and Braun. They also all get $23,000. That's it. Race over. Let's check in with what NBC thought of it and get some post-race interviews.
Alex Palou is just as fierce. There's Chip Ganassi, the man behind the name, and he's going to celebrate with his championship-winning driver in the Ridgeline Honda. And this checkered flag moment brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Who else but the champ? Nice work, Alex Palou and the 10 team from Chip Ganassi Racing. There's Barry Wanzer. We heard Barry on the radio earlier just telling Alex what he could do, how he could use that push to pass and how to manage it. And what a nice boost for Barry Wanzer, who has just come back from some very serious health challenges over the off-season himself. And those two individuals are very much a winning combination. And that feels good. Even though no championship points, big money, great location, super weekend. And the Palou show, as Hinch dubbed it, rolls on.
It rolls on, and this driver and this race team have been winning for a while now. And what I love about Alex Palou is he always takes what's on offer. He never goes for more than what he's capable of getting, and today he leaned in with both arms on the poker table and took all the chips because it was possible. He should be very proud. What a job.
The members have been so gracious and generous with all of us, allowing INDYCAR to come into their playground and host this $1 million challenge for the very first time. INDYCAR tested here last year, but there was nothing like we've experienced this weekend, and it's been a blast. And so thank you again for letting us come along in the shadow of these magnificent mountains here in the Coachella Valley. It has been quite the weekend to remember. And here comes Alex into this courtyard area where the entire fraternity has been enjoying lunch and some ice cream every day. It's been a wonderful community feel. And now it's time for this guy to celebrate what was a command performance. He's a pretty relaxed guy. He'll be like, yeah, that's what we do.
That's just how the 10 car works, isn't it?
Colton Herter, well played. Money earned. Different strategy to everybody else. And a good one.
Diff, even for the stoic Spaniard, Alex Palou celebrated with a big yell on the radio to his team. $500,000 richer. He wins the $1 million challenge. Boy, Alex, even as good as you guys were all weekend long, did you expect almost a 6-second victory when you're racing for $500,000?
No, honestly, the car was amazing. The 10 crew and all the Chip Ganassi Racing guys did an amazing job. So, yeah, super proud. All weekend's been amazing. I was a bit surprised how the competitors treated the first 10 laps, saving tires. I was like, all right, that's our game. I like it. So, yeah, super proud of the 10 car and everybody at Chip Ganassi Racing.
You're going to get this question a lot today. What are you going to do with $500,000?
I need to buy a lot of diapers and pajamas, so probably I'll do that and probably do some small party with the boys.
There you go. The new dad going to go buy some diapers with $500,000. That'll buy a couple diapers, I think, Kevin.
Colton Herta might have been the star of the show along with Alex Palou, going from near the back in the heat just to make it. And then you made what we talked about all weekend true. You saved the Firestones in the first half. Was that a hard decision at all to do that and not race?
I mean, inside the car, it sucked. I'm sure for people watching, they wanted to see 12 cars going at it. But you got that in the last half, and I think our strategy worked. We were talking about it like on pure pace, you know, maybe we can move up like 6 spots at most if we get a little lucky and cars have some problems, you know, but if we save the tires, might be able to get a little bit more. So that's what we went for, and obviously the tire advantage is pretty big, so we were able to pick off everybody on the way up there.
Did you approach those overtake opportunities any differently in a non-points cash race than you would have otherwise?
Yeah, I didn't care. Yeah, it's feast or famine, and I was hungry. So the game returned to 8 today, and P4 is not too bad from when we started. I guess theoretically like 25th or 26th at the start of it. But no, it was cool. And you know, with Marcus there, he gave me plenty of racing room, and it was a really fair fight. So I appreciate that from his side of things. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well done, guys. He doesn't care. No crash damage paid by Colton Herta, and there is none on the car.
Hey, that was $100,000. $100,000 for 4th place going to Colton Herta. As a job well done. There's the winner, Alex Palou. What about the guy who was chasing him, Scott McLaughlin? Let's have a listen in to the Thirsty Threes and their radio.
Looks like it's $350,000 there for the second place, so you're buying dinner. 350? Really? I thought it was 250. No, 350. Yeah, I'll buy you guys a beer, all right?
And I just saw your engineer, Ben Bretzman, over here, Scott. He's ready to collect on the beer. It's an extra 100K you weren't aware of.
Yeah, I better put some money up at the bar tonight. But no, look, XPL Chevy was fantastic. Just didn't quite have enough for Alex. Congrats to him and his team. We were just, like once you get that clear air, it was good. I thought maybe that first restart would be okay. Just to have a bit of a play around and see if we can get him. But ultimately just settled into my pace to make sure that we brought home at least a good spot. But yeah, I was pumped with my first restart. My first restart was a lot of fun. I got from 4th to 2nd, and that really set up our race.
Well done. Fun weekend. Scott McLaughlin comes home 2nd. Lee.
It's always nice when you get surprised by an extra $100,000. Well done to the 3 team from Team Penske. And as far as the races this year, Scott McLaughlin's finished on the podium both times. The Pennzoil moment of the race. Who could we award it to? Nobody else other than Alex Palou. There it was. The 2-part main event for the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. And this guy was just in control, Marty. Alex Palou dominated.
Let's talk to the boss, Chip Ganassi. I mean, the young driver from Spain has won you 2 championships, Chip. But does he continue to impress you with a dominant performance like that?
Well, I'll tell you, you look today was like a little Sunday drive out there, all in the front by himself. He didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, he made it look easy, didn't he? And you know it's not easy when you're racing for that much money. You're a former driver.
No question, no question. A lot of pressure on the team all weekend. The entire team performed. I want to thank the members of the Thermal Club here for welcoming us, welcoming INDYCAR into their backyard. And they've been great to the whole traveling circus, if you will, all weekend. And it's just really been great being here in Palm Springs.
I believe there's going to be a party at Chip Ganassi Racing tonight, Kevin.
Felix Rosenquist continues the momentum, starting a season in a new situation with Meyer Shank Racing. What did you think of the weekend and your racing?
It was an awesome weekend. We rolled out good here. We kept cool. We kind of did our own thing. I think we ended up maximizing what we had. We won the heat race, which was cool, but we had a lot of tire dags, so we needed a bit of a different strategy going into the main race. Yeah, I couldn't really follow Alex and Scott, but yeah, overall super pleased for the team. Meyer Shank Racing, AutoNation, Sirius XM, and Honda just, turned it on when it needed, and got some cash in the pocket.
You pick up cash, and what do you learn for road courses moving forward?
I mean, this was a huge learning experience for us. Just being out there for 3 days, doing a lot of laps, trying different stuff, learning the car. It was such a huge thing for us. You can see it as a really long test for us, and we need that because we're still pretty green on the stand together, and we're still, getting to know each other. But this is a huge statement for us.
Podium for Felix Rosenquist, Marty.
Let's chat with Barry Wanzer, the man who guided Alex Palou to the win after St. Pete. It wasn't a terrific performance for the 10 team. How important was this to rebound in this way?
Yeah, certainly we didn't unload very good at St. Pete, made the car better over the weekend, had a decent race. But this is a huge rebound, and not every day can you win $500,000, so it was pretty special, we came out to Thermal last year to do a test. The INDYCAR series, and we saw that it was a great racetrack, and it was great to have Thermal invite us back and actually do this made-for-TV event. It's been awesome. It's been a great weekend, and certainly, for Chip Ganassi Racing, it's been awesome to win it.
And Diff made the point earlier, so great to see Barry back at the racetrack, and now he's in victory lane, Kevin.
It was a good day for Chip Ganassi Racing beyond just Alex Palou. If this were a regular points race, this would be Marcus Armstrong's best finish. We're still going to count it. It's still an IndyCar weekend. You come home 5th. How'd you get it done?
Yeah, P5. I'm actually kind of disappointed by P5 because we were on the start of the pre-final, the first part of the final. I had a missed shift and couldn't shift to second gear, so I lost a couple of places, a place or so. And that sort of put us on the back foot for the last race. But yeah, I mean, credit to the team, the number 11 Ridgeline Honda group. We've been quick all week, trying to translate that into a good quality result, which we did. And we can take that momentum to Long Beach now.
Well done. Hey, Lee, this was a fun weekend.
Really good weekend for that young man in his first full season of INDYCAR, his second season within the series. And here is a snapshot of who finished where. Let your eyes walk through that graphic to see who had the good fight for the big money, but nobody was better than Alex Palou. T-Bell, good weekend.
I just love the story of Linus Lundqvist, the improvement that the rookie has shown. He's my pick for Rookie of the Year. He showed today why Chip Ganassi Racing gave him the golden opportunity to run the full season. But all in all, not a bad grab for the top 12 here, James. They must go away with a little more smile.
And a lot of confidence in some of these groups. You look at RLL getting all 3 cars into the top 12 there. That's a solid effort for them. Again, not a points race, but still a great momentum-building weekend for everybody in what was such a beautiful setting and a fun action-packed weekend.
Well, absolutely fantastic. Let's get the closing thoughts of the team, starting with Adam. What did you make of the $1 million challenge in total? Oh, might have frozen. Josh T. Oh.
Well, are you ready, Josh?
Yes.
Alex Plo said he'll spend some of his money on diapers. I have done the maths. Okay, so one diaper on average is 14.6p.
Right.
Divide 500,000 by 14.6. 500,000 is around enough for 34,246 diapers. On average, people spend 94p a day on diapers, which means Alex Plo has a supply of diapers for 5,319 days, which is 14 years, 6 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day.
You really you underestimate how much kids need diapers. Let me tell you something. My little niece going through diapers like nobody's business. Well, comes to something when we're talking about this race and Josh T's talking about diapers. Okay, Adam, what about you? We got your back.
Well, it had its moments, I guess, that, it was yes and no. All I know is hopefully next year the Thermal Club doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It needs to go to a proper track, a proper road course or an oval, and but congratulations to Alex Plo, and now I'll have enough diapers for a long time, and probably have a really good 3-course meal with this win.
I haven't got a 3-course meal. I was going to eat before NASCAR, so it looks like later on I've just got a little bit of pie. Not like fruit pie. It's a meat pie I have for later. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Pie is 3.14.
Yeah, that one. Right, that's it. Right, thanks to everyone who's watching on JBMotorsports on YouTube and Twitch and on USON as well. Stay with us on all 3 channels, because coming up in half an hour, we're going to the Circuit of the Americas for NASCAR's 6th round of the championship. Join us in a little bit. For us all here, though, we apologise for the $1 million challenge. It'll be better next time. Bye-bye.